whenever there's an episodic series, you can bet two men will talk to you. AJ Talon and Owen Finch give their thoughts on Owen and AJ Talks.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to Owen and AJ Talks. I'm Owen Finch, and I'm here with
AJ Talon, and today it's episode 8 from season 1 of Yellowjackets.
Yeah, I'm excited about
Happy
this.
Happy Halloween, motherfuckers.
Well, it won't be when we upload this, but yeah, it's...
No, I know.
I kind of like that we're doing a Yellowjackets review, because it kind of has it like a Halloween theme-ish. Kind of wish we actually did the Halloween episode, I guess, but then, you know, we wouldn't have gotten anything done, but it just kind of...
Yeah.
I kind of thought we would...
Owen, remember the days when we were planning, like, oh yeah, we'll do, like, the Fright Night episode of Danny Phantom and, like, the Ghost Freak episode of Ben 10 around Halloween. And we're not even close to those.
A lot of stuff's happened this year, so...
Yeah, I know, right?
But yeah, let's get right into it. This episode is called Flight of the Bumblebee, which, you know, makes a lot of sense with how the episode ends, which we'll get to. And this episode was... It was directed by Ariel Kelman, I think. Kelman, I think is how you say that. She has a wiki, which is cool. I always like it when they have wikis.
Real hit or miss if these writers have wikis or not.
Yeah, I've noticed that. Oh, well, you know, a good thing is the Melanie Linsky, you know, the actress that plays Shauna, says... Yeah, I probably should have waited till after we did the review, but I'm just reading this now. I'll probably forget. This was our favorite episode of film because the director allowed her to cast to play around and improvise several scenes. I wonder what scenes were improvised then. That's actually kind of... I didn't really know that until I just looked this up. So,
wait, for past Shauna or adult Shauna?
Adult Shauna. I figured...
Okay, I was going to say, because past Shauna wasn't really in this episode much.
Well, maybe that was the improvisation. She want to do shit. So,
yeah, I know. He's like, all right, I'm gonna fucking call in sick this week. That's my improv.
But yeah, I'm wondering what was improvised. I'm gonna guess. We'll get to it. Maybe that could be a fun thing. We'll guess what was improvised, type of thing. But yeah, I think she's directed some small projects and things like that. But it's kind of cool that she has a wiki. I know some get wikis and some don't get wikis. I don't know why, but that's just how it is. But this episode was written by Cameron Brent Johnson and Liz Fain. They don't get wikis though. They don't get the wikis. And you want to guess when this episode came out? I know we.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the last one was like December 23rd, 2021. I'm gonna guess this one is December 30th, 2021.
Damn. AJ, you shouldn't have said December 23rd because you're not even in the right month anymore. It's January 2nd, 2022. Oh, it's January.
I was thinking, damn it.
Because
wait, what was it?
January 2nd, 2022. Because, you know.
Yeah. I was thinking, like, that's like around New Year's. I wonder if they, like, skipped a week, and yeah, sure enough.
Well, no, because the last episode was December 26th, so I don't think they skipped a week. I think it's
Oh, was it? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
I was just off.
Yeah. That's why I'm saying if you had said December 26th, you probably would have gotten a little closer, is what I mean.
Damn, not only was I in the wrong month, I was in the wrong year.
By like what? Like a few days type of thing? So
yeah, literally 31st, 3 days off.
Yeah. But yeah, you know, why don't we just get like started talking about, you know, this episode?
Yeah. So it's picking up pretty much where last episode left off. I know in the last review we didn't talk about it, like the wolf attack last, but like, you know, it was obviously like that was like the end of the episode. The cliffhanger is, you know, oh shit, Van died. They killed Van, you bastards.
I know. I had to keep. This was like you know, obviously not as long, but the whole video I had to pretend that Van was dead. Like, you kind of had to pretend for years.
Yeah, I know. Like, well, I was like, okay, she's definitely dead. I mean, she's fucking sitting there lifeless. Her fucking cheek is out.
This reminds me of when you. I mean, obviously not as great, but like when you had to keep for like years that Wash and OVB died.
Oh yeah. For years, whenever we talked about Red versus Blue, because we saw you saw Recovery 1, and we're like, oh yeah, Washington died. Our rip.
Yeah.
You know. And then I'm like, oh no, he's alive. He's alive.
So I had to do the same thing with Van, pretty much. I should go back.
I know, right?
We should. I feel like one day one of the videos should be us going back and rewatching, like, you know, now that we know this stuff, like, what was your reaction when I said that? Like, did you actually have a poker face, or did you like laugh and I didn't catch like?
Oh yeah, or did I like go like? Yeah, honestly, we should go back and do some revolt videos sometime.
Yeah,
because I do want to go back to the last video and see if you like reacted at all when I kept saying Van died.
I mean, I gave you a pretty big hint with the Thaisa thing too, so that, you'll probably watch that back and be like, "Oh, should have seen that coming," type of thing.
I know. Oh yeah, with the lady in the tree. Yeah. No, damn, you drop these hints and I don't pick them up.
Yeah. Did you drop?
Did you drop a hint on Van?
Did you drop a hint on Wash and I didn't pick up on it? Like, was it just like you going like that? Because that's kind of a hint that you can't really say unless like. Well, you did say.
I think I kept saying for Washington. I kept saying like, "Oh yeah, you know, we're gonna get like flashbacks of him and stuff."
Yep.
Which I mean, like, isn't wrong, but like, you know, I kept making it seem like that's the only thing we're gonna get from him.
Yeah. You know. I wish we watched that episode together so you could have seen my reaction to what, because I think I told you this original. I know we're talking about a completely different thing now, but like but whatever. So you should have seen my reaction though, like, because I didn't even realize the whole thing in the beginning of RVB season 6 was like current. I thought it was a flashback, and then when I saw Wash, and
because it's funny because like he's like off in the corner, and like the red guy is like points at him, and you're like, oh, this is a flashback, and then you're like, oh, no, yeah. I remember you telling me.
I don't think I realized it was like the present until like he mentions like the stuff that happened in Recovery. I'm like, oh wait, this isn't the present. I was like, what the hell? Like I had to.
Yeah. No, that was definitely one of those things where I was like, damn it, I really wish we watched it together.
Yeah.
No, it's funny. I wanted to watch season 6 together because of that and like the 2 plot twists at the end with Church.
Yeah. But anyhow, different show. Different
show. But it's funny because we've been comparing Red versus Blue and the Yellowjackets a lot.
Which is weird. What a weird comparison.
I know, like, they're totally different. So this is presumably like a little later after Van died because Thais isn't like sobbing anymore. She seems like she's calmed down.
Yeah.
She's obviously still upset. But because they're like,
I know I keep cutting you off, but I would think by now, we didn't really talk about this last time because we were so busy shit on the wolf attack. I think it's pretty much confirmed to everyone that there was probably more to like Van and Thais' relationship by this point. Like I would think so, but because of how much she saw when Van died, pretty much.
I mean, I don't know. You could just, Thais could just be crying for her friend. Like I feel like her, like Owen, if you died and I was like crying, like oh my god, if some guy came up to me and was like, "What are you, gay?" I'd be like,
also family,
okay.
So that doesn't really like help the situation.
Yeah, true. I guess, yeah. Or if you were crying over your friend Steve, and I walked up to you and I was like, "What are you, gay?"
Well, she was also like asking for like Van like originally too when the wolf attack like happened type of thing. Like she was like looking for Van.
Well, yeah. I just figured that was because she was like separated from everyone.
That's fair, yeah. But I say that because like. I'll just say this because they kind of treat it that, like, after this wolf attack, the group kind of treats it like they know.
Oh, okay. Because I was going to say, like, do they pick up on it after this? Because, like, I mean, I guess, because I don't know. If I were in that situation, I wouldn't really make assumptions based on that.
Sometimes the characters of these shows just connect dots where they shouldn't be connected sometimes.
Oh, Thaisa, you were worried about Van getting fucking eaten by a wolf? What are you, gay for? Jeez,
Jackie, like episode like 5 would have said that probably. So
I know, right? It's like, what the fuck? It's like, how about mind your own fucking business, Jackie?
But anyhow, back to the wolf attack.
Back to the actual plot. This review is already off to a great start.
Remember, you said you wanted to set a timer, and well, 9 minutes in, we haven't talked about 1 second of the yet.
I know, we got into we haven't even gotten to the fact that Van is alive still, or maybe I'm going to talk about that. I'm going to do my predictions. So it's presumably like I don't know, maybe like an hour after the fact. Everyone's kind of calmed down a little bit. They're all like sobbing, but like not as freaked out. Mm-hmm. They're like gathering sticks, to give Van like a funeral pyre. I kept thinking, because we're gonna review Star Wars soon. All I kept thinking about is the Jedi pyre, which is funny to me.
I don't know what that is, so like it's
yeah, you know what that is. Fucking, we should do a counter for these reviews every time I make a goddamn Star Wars reference that you don't get.
I know.
It happens a lot. Once you actually see the films, you'll probably go back and be like, "Oh fuck, this guy does not stop talking about Star Wars."
There you go.
Damn it! Now I'm doing it. Now I'm going off topic.
I almost why we do this, but like I think it's just funny, like how much we like this show, and like but
we just like don't take it seriously.
Not even that, but like we switch topics so often. Like with Yellowjackets, even in the Kiss This videos, like we stay on topic.
We like stay pretty on topic, yeah. But Yellowjackets, something about it makes us like schizophrenic.
Yeah.
Which is accurate to Thaisa.
No. Lottie,
you're right. My bad. Better comparison. So I thought this was kind of weird that they're giving Van a funeral pyre. Which obviously, if you don't know what that is, they place the corpse onto a bunch of sticks and then light it on fire. Basically cremating you essentially. I thought this was weird because one, I feel like it would attract more wolves.
Yeah.
Because if you don't know, like a lot of animals are attracted to fire. Which is presumably, I was assuming that's why the wolves like got attracted to them in the first place.
Yeah, because they had a fire going.
Yeah. And I also thought it was weird just because, like, again, you're out in the middle of nowhere. I understand they don't want to bring Van's body back to the camp because, again, like, lugging the body that far would, like, be too much effort. But, like, you figure they would just bury her, Yeah. And it feels a little weird to, like, cremate her, especially when, like, you just got attacked by wolves. They might come back.
I mean, they dealt with them pretty quickly, so it's not like they...
Yeah, true. I mean, they were like, Van died? What a loser. Those wolves died so easily.
Yeah. I mean, I always just... If it was Washington, I could buy Washington dealing them with them very quickly, but not these people.
Oh, yeah, fucking Washington's been killed like 3 goddamn times in that show, and he's still come back.
Yeah. I was going to say, like, when
Recovery 1, end of Season 6... Season 8, that's 3 times to make you think he died and he was actually alive.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
There's probably more than I'm not even thinking of. But yeah, speaking of faking out deaths, everyone's like kind of around Van as they're lighting the fire and they all kind of start to like walk away. They like don't want to like, I'm guessing like start walking away because they don't really want to like see their friend like burning,
Yeah.
I imagine that's pretty traumatic. But then something interesting happens. Van like starts to like open her eyes a little bit, and like the colors are like really distorted. Like it's like purple, green. Like it's like takes a little bit for her vision to like become clear.
Right.
And like, because Van, like obviously it took a while for them to gather all that wood to like burn the fire.
Yeah.
And that makes me think something supernatural happened. Like, it makes me think that, like, maybe Van was actually dead.
Yeah. Because that would be weird, especially... Because it'd be weird...
Because they kind of move past it really quickly.
Yeah.
But, like, Van makes a joke of, like, you couldn't have checked, I was dead, or something like that. Like you couldn't have checked the cold.
Yeah, I would like to hope that I think they did. But, yeah, I think something supernatural definitely happened there. I do like that she had a sense of humor, like, while she was, like, legitimately, like, half her face is...
Yeah, I'm glad she didn't, like, blame them, because I'm like, that'd be a little... that's what I was thinking. I was thinking she was going to be mad at Thaisa. But,
yeah, that was good.
Okay, well, like, if nothing supernatural happened here, they're morons for not, like, confirming that she's dead.
But I would like to think, but we didn't actually see it, so that makes me think too, like something supernatural definitely happened.
Because again, to make another Star Wars reference, Robot Chicken did a joke with that, where like there's a Jedi pyre, where so basically in Star Wars, someone died and they're like doing this.
Yeah.
They did a joke where that person was actually alive, and they were like, they wake up and they're like on fire, and they're like, oh my god,
So yeah, I like to think that they checked a pulse and stuff. But I did like this scene a lot, though. I like that they kind of did like a bait and switch a little bit because where Van was actually alive, type of thing. I messaged you this. Van's just the Kenny from South Park of the show because she's almost died like 3 times. And
the plane crashed, the airplane thing, and this.
Yeah. So she's almost died like 3 times, and she just keeps coming back. So
Owen, because Van and Taissa were referencing how in movies the black person always dies first, I would like to point out it is also a common cliche for the gay character to die first.
Well, yeah.
So poor Van, she had a 50-50. Well, you know what? That's not even fair because Taissa is a black character and a gay character.
Especially too because Taissa is alive in the present.
And we know for a fact Taissa is alive in the present. So poor Van, fucking Taissa was, according to horror movie cliches, she's twice as likely to die as her.
Maybe those double negatives turn into a positive.
They cancel each other out. It's like multiplying a negative and a negative makes a positive.
Yeah. I will talk about this because this is stupid. These wolves were really useless then because Van lived.
Yeah.
And it shows that these wolves were. These must have been like wolves in training when it came to they didn't really know how to hunt or something because they didn't kill anybody. And they were dealt with very easily. So these wolves sucked.
Yeah. So I was gonna wait until you talked about the Taissa sleepwalking stuff, but I'll just bring it up now, I guess.
Well, I mean, that's
so I did my big rant on the wolf attack last episode, so I'm not gonna get too into it now. But I was kind of saying in that rant, maybe next episode will kind of change my mind a bit, like the fallout of it. Especially with the sleepwalking, maybe I'll kind of come around on it. This episode has kind of just confirmed my dislike of it. So one, the wolf attack was pretty fucking harmless. Yeah. Especially because Van didn't even die from it. No one died from it. Because that was the one thing I was praising of the wolf attack is someone died because no one has died since the plane crash. The end of the episode changes that, but still.
But wasn't from the wolf attack though.
Yeah, so the wolf attack CGI was terrible. It was way too short. It only lasted 2 minutes, and it was the end of the episode. No one died from it. Yeah. I remember we were debating on we weren't sure if Taissa killed that wolf that was attacking Van with she used a stick or an axe. You thought it was an axe. I thought it was a stick. And then you messaged me after I watched this episode and said you went back and you're pretty sure it was a stick.
It looks like a stick.
Which is fucking dumb.
Yeah.
And also the wolves that were attacking Misty and the others, they're just dealt with off screen. They don't even mention it.
I feel too, because this was meant to be a big thing. Again, I don't want to hop on it too much because it was last episode, but this was meant to be a big thing, and it was set up that this gave Taissa really bad PTSD. That could still make sense, obviously, with because Van got really damaged from it, and it's her fault. But it's not now. It's really not as interesting her having PTSD now that Van didn't die from it, type of thing. So
yeah, and I'm bringing this up because this episode deals with Taissa sleepwalking. I brought up how I was really interested in Taissa being the lady in the tree because I'm it makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
All that trauma and PTSD, being out in the woods, and obviously when they got back to normal society, didn't really talk to anyone about what they went through. So it's just years and years of buildup, resulting in the sleepwalking. And it makes sense because Taissa seems like she was completely unaware that she was sleepwalking, but then last episode making it seem like this has been an issue for a while. I really didn't like that, and I was okay, well, I wouldn't like it, but I was wondering if that was the first time she slept walk during the wolf attack, or if that was like a thing she had been dealing with even before that.
And again, obviously, I forgot that was that it was I forgot which one what it was, because obviously I kind of steered you down the wrong path. So
yeah, but it was that was the first time she slept walk. It seems like, based on what she talks with Shauna later, that was the first time she slept walk. And maybe there's more to it, but when she talks with Simone later, she says that like being out in the woods like gave her PTSD and she started sleepwalking. I don't like that, because the only big thing that has happened so far is the plane crash. And don't get me wrong, that is traumatic.
yeah.
The plane crashing and like seeing people like burning alive and shit. That's horrible. But like, it's not as personal, I guess. Like, it's pretty much the plane crash, and then they've just been chilling in a cabin for like 2 months from so far.
I think what doesn't help too is everyone else seemed like they didn't really like get any damage from it either. Like, obviously Shauna.
Yeah. Like, Van got like a couple scars on her face, but like,
yeah. I'm saying mentally too. Like, I know Shauna missed most of the plane crash, so that makes sense why she doesn't have any damage from it. But like no one else seems like, maybe other than Travis, but that makes sense because his dad died from the plane crash.
Yeah, that wasn't even like a plane crash. That was more so his dad dying.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, I don't know, his dad. Well, actually, his dad didn't die from the plane crash. His dad fell in that tree and then fell and died.
No, he was already dead.
Oh, he was already dead. But yeah, you get the idea. So I was thinking, like, okay, if if the sleepwalking was a result of the wolf attack, especially because like she was the only one who wanted to like keep going, like keep walking, and then like she was on watch, and then if Van died from the wolf attack, that's like very personal. I could see why that would like really mess her up, because she would feel like double guilty, for like Van dying.
Yeah.
And if that was the result, and that resulted in her having a sleep attack, I would buy that 100%. But I just really don't buy this explanation. I feel like they really jumped the gun on the sleepwalking. Especially
too, I'll talk more about it too, because that's the thing I'm talking about when we get to the present, like why I don't like it. Why not necessarily not like it, why they dropped the ball too. Yeah, Van not dying from it. I know Van, because Van gets like fucked up, unless we're gonna find out in the past where Van maybe has some type of like mental, like PTSD or something from the wolf attack. That's like maybe, but that's still kind of a stretch type of thing, because that's not really that's not as personal to Thaisa as it would be if Van died type of thing. So
yeah.
I have a question, by the way. I know you watch this on Netflix. Do you get like the previously on Yellowjackets thing?
Yeah, I do. I just get that usually.
Oh, there was you pulled a me from the Dragon Ball outro. There's kind of a unique thing that the narrator, the person doing the voiceover for like previously on Yellowjacket was present day Shauna, which was kind of cool. I don't know if that's been like a thing or what.
Oh, cool! I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Well, all right. Well, I guess I shouldn't skip the previously ons from now on.
No, you can. Okay. You can. I'm just saying it was kind of. It was kind of cool.
Yeah. So I was just kind of bringing up the wolf attack, because this is obviously dealing with the fallout of that. And yeah, I mean, this isn't like super interesting. I mean, the main thing is Vid isn't dead, and
yeah,
if it was like a supernatural thing that brought her back, that's pretty interesting. Because the way I was thinking is like, whatever the supernatural thing out there is and wants to kill them, this is making me, because they with the guy who they found dead, Lottie said like it didn't want him to leave.
Right.
So that's interesting to me. That like, if whatever the supernatural thing is, if it like brought Van back to life, that makes me curious about like what it wants.
Especially too, Van's brought back to life, but Van still's got to suffer like while alive. It's not like she's coming back to life like in society or anything like that. So
yeah. But yeah, so I mean, and like, if this isn't a supernatural thing, if Van just like is alive because they like forgot to check her pulse,
then they're idiots.
That's yeah. Then they're like, Owen, they are not just idiots; they are fucking. I can't even describe it. Because again, this isn't like a 2-minute thing. This is like they got all the firewood, then they put her body on it, then they lit it on fire. And you figure Thaisa, of all people, would want to make like 100% sure she's dead.
Especially too, because Misty's out there who like does the nurse and stuff and everything like that.
Right?
Too.
Yeah, you figure Misty would check. Yeah.
Yeah. So.
But yeah, so they kind of patch tight Van up as much as they can because she has like fucking her face is falling off. And they're trying to like limp her back to camp. And then Thaisa's like, we are not leave, because Van is like, leave me here. Thaisa's like, no, we're not doing that. Again, I really like how selfless Van is being here. Again, she didn't really blame them for the fire thing.
Yeah.
And she's like, look, I'm holding you down. Like, go. And I like Thaisa. I was like, no, fuck that. I'm not leaving you. And then Van kind of compromised, and she's like, okay, Thaisa, like, stay with me. Everyone else, like, go and get help.
Which actually have kind of
like,
been a benefit too.
Which is like smart. Yeah, it's like, okay, no, like we're not gonna get anywhere with you limping me here. Like, have everyone else go and get more people, and then they can like help get me back.
Yeah.
I really wish, again with the fire thing, I really wish they brought up like maybe they're worried about like more wolves coming.
Yes.
Or like a bears, because they seem to just be like, I mean, the main thing is they're worrying about Van like losing blood.
Yeah.
But like I really wish like they had like somebody mentioned like, like what if the wolves come back, or what if like something else comes to get us.
I agree.
But yeah, they get back to camp, and Laura is like, I really like this, how she's like freaking out. She can't even like get the words out properly.
Yeah, definitely.
And she's like, like Van, like go help them, go find them.
Especially too, because I mean, this kind of goes with your thing. I'll just mention it now. Like earlier, Lottie and Laura have like a scene together where Laura's like worried about them, and she like wants a sign from God, and obviously like a bird flies over, which I think was meant to be like the sign.
Yeah, I think that was more so for like the plane plot, which it's at the end of the episode.
Yeah, but because I've mentioned this because Lottie comes over and asks like, do you think like they're okay, and Lottie's like, they're on God's hands now type of thing. So it was like before this scene, I was like, I think it would make more sense to talk about now to kind of tie that all together, because it's gonna be kind of weird to talk about it later when this is over.
Yeah. Yeah, so everyone like rushes for the woods to like go find Van and Thaisa. I wonder how far away they were, because I don't, we don't really know how long they were gone for. It seems like they were gone for like maybe 2 days.
Yeah, especially to when they went and started their search, it was like the daytime out. Then when we saw it later, it was like night. So
yeah, because I think we got like 2 camping scenes before. Like obviously we had one.
Yeah.
And then the second one was the wolf attack, and then like you said, yeah, when they got back to camp, it was daytime. So that does make me curious how long it took them to like go find Van and Thaisa.
Yeah.
Van's a fucking trooper. Her fucking face is off, and she's like, didn't die, from that somehow.
She's Kenny from South Park, honestly. I think.
Yeah. Like I literally have to accept that like it's supernatural magic keeping her alive, because like that is insane if she just like is alive.
Yeah.
You haven't seen Monty Python, but the guy who fucking got his arms and legs chopped off, and he's like, "'Tis but a scratch."
That's funny.
Like that feels like Van. She got her fucking face cut off, and she's like, "Oh yeah, it's just a flesh wound."
I wish Van had acted that way, but whatever.
Yeah, but everyone, I do like this because they set up the flare gun last episode. Like Thaisa fired at the wolf and didn't really do anything. This time, Thaisa fired the flare gun, and that's how they found her.
Which, you know what that means? No more flare gun now. That's a thing they can't use now to get help at all, because I think that was the last bullet.
Oh, okay.
So.
Then that is kind of convenient that Thaisa fired it when they were that close.
Pretty convenient, yeah.
Yeah.
She probably heard
but
that.
I mean, like, whatever. That's like the thing I'll accept the most. They find Van, and they're now that they have more people, they're able to bring her back to the cabin, where I forget who it was that like starts stitching her up. I remember Misty wanted to, like,
it was a random background girl. That one of the random background.
Okay, it was a random I was like, is it a named character? I'm like, no, it's random background girl who like did nothing except like exist in the background, and now she's like deciding to talk.
Yep.
Now she's allowed to be like with the main characters when they're talking about plot stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then poor Vanu, because they don't have any like painkillers or anything. They can't like knock her out.
Yeah.
I guess they can knock her out. Honestly, if I was Van, I'd be like, listen, punch me in the face a couple times, like fucking knock me out.
Yeah. Yeah, I would have done that.
So yeah, they're like, I do like that scene where Misty like wants to like chime in and help, and Shauna has to be like, Misty, like not now.
Yeah, not the time.
Yeah, this was pretty visceral. Like we're like you just hear Van fucking screaming as they're like stitching her cheek up. And I like that. This is kind of like what I like about the past stuff is like them dealing with like having such limited resources out in the woods.
Yeah, definitely. Shows how much they're pretty much useless and
Yeah. I wouldn't say useless, but it's kind of like they're just like using what little they have, Yeah. And it's like the thing is like they're not doctors, Like it's a big thing with what happens later is like they patch up Van, but like they're not like a doctor with a hospital and like like they do a pretty shitty job at it.
Kind of reminds you of like the Breaking Bad scene where like Walt has to get his chemo through the disappearer, but it's who even know like he doesn't know
he's like and they mention like, oh yeah, I'll try to like find the right vein this time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so I do like that whole scene. And Shauna and Thaisa at night. I don't. Do you want to talk about that scene because that's kind of tied to the sleepwalking thing, or like should I still talk about it?
Just talk about it.
Okay. Shauna later that night, once they're back in the cabin, Shauna and Thaisa are like having a. I do kind of like how this becomes like trade of the show is like they'll have these like late night talks.
Yeah.
Because later in the episode in the present day they have like a similar one.
Yeah.
And it kind of shows how like Jackie pointed out last episode. It's weird how like Shauna and Thaisa are becoming like best buds.
Right.
It's interesting.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting, especially too because
last episode we saw like Shauna like could not give a fuck about Natalie. Like when Thaisa's like Natalie could like get herself killed, and Shauna was like, "It do be like that sometimes."
Yeah, I do like this too because like out of we've seen everyone in the present. They're the only ones that have really had like a long conversation or long like scenes in the past. I was just like you see a lot of Misty and Natalie in the present, but they really haven't talked that much in the past.
Oh yeah, they haven't talked at all. Like we'll get like one or two little scenes of Natalie and Misty in the past.
So I like that, like
really nothing.
So I like that Shauna and Thaisa's like it's been pretty balanced type of thing. So
yeah, which I mean I'm fine with because they've been out there. They're going to end up being out there for like 18 months.
Yeah.
So like I think it would make sense that like Natalie and Misty aren't like talking a lot right now, but maybe they'll talk more later.
Right.
Yeah. So Thaisa kind of confides in Shauna about the sleepwalking thing. I like this because that like Shauna is the only one. Thaisa's confiding in Shauna is confiding in Thaisa about the pregnancy and that it's Jeff's. She told Jackie about the pregnancy, but only because like Jackie kind of like pressed her on it.
Right.
And she obviously left out that it was Jeff's.
It's a pretty good thing to leave out. So
yeah.
Adam would have come in there and just told. Adam would have come in there and just told her.
I know. Adam's like, oh hey Shauna, how you doing with Jeff's baby in there? And Shauna's like, no, now Adam, I don't meet you for another 20 years. Actually, how old is Adam exactly?
Well, they mentioned he graduated high school in 2004. I think he mentioned he graduated high school in 2004. So,
okay, because I was gonna say like it's kind of weird to think about. So like in the past, like 1996,
I don't think
I'm pretty sure Adam would be like a little kid.
No, remember, he's unaged.
Yeah, true. Yeah, he's always the same age. Adam is eternal.
But no, in real life, yeah, he's probably in diapers at this point. The same age in diapers.
Which is like, damn, Shauna fucking crib snatching.
Yeah.
Well, because she mentions he's younger to Thaisa, but like she didn't say exactly how much younger.
Right.
But yeah, Thaisa is like confiding in Shauna about the sleepwalking and how she's like confused and she doesn't know why she did it, but she feels guilty because she was like on watch.
Right. Which is fine. That's
yeah,
fine.
I like that. I'm glad Thaisa is feeling guilty about it. Again, I don't like that they're doing the sleepwalking this early.
I agree. Yeah, definitely.
So yeah.
And again, I'm going to talk about more of the Thaisa stuff. Try to do like a deep dive and try to figure this all out and kind of what I think actually happened, probably behind the scenes type of thing. But what I liked about this Shauna Thaisa scene is it tied up really well because obviously I think we were seeing them like have a talk like in the present type of thing. So I actually kind of like. I will say there's one thing I liked about the past, other than the Laura stuff. It seemed like these were more like flashbacks than they were like showing the past because they lined them up really well with what the characters were doing in the present, like all the Natalie stuff and all the Shauna Thaisa stuff. So that's pretty cool. I liked that. Obviously the wolf attack thing, it's kind of good. I guess it's good. Like they continued it. I guess I just don't really like. I'm okay. I like Van as a character, so I'm fine with her living, but her living doesn't really make the PTSD stuff and all that stuff now as interesting. So
yeah, I mean I'm fine with Van living. I guess my main complaint was like no one has died yet, and it feels like we're kind of a little overdue. As fucked up as that is.
Yeah.
I mean this episode fixes that. Yeah. And yeah, it kind of just diminishes the wolf attack. And again, as I pointed out last episode, there's a lot wrong with the wolf attack.
Yeah. And
for how much it was built up. And like the 1-2 saving graces for the wolf attack were it resulted in Van dying and like the sleepwalking effect on Thaisa. And this episode kind of like fucks with those two things. So now I'm like, all right, so the wolf attack has like no positives. It's like just bad.
Yeah. And they like again, there's no other than maybe Thaisa feeling guilty and stuff. There's no reason for her to like have PTSD from it. Kind of not a good reason, anyways.
And again, I hate to bring it up so much because that's last episode's fault. But like this whole Van subplot is the fallout of last episode.
Yeah.
So like. As it's last episode's fault, but like this episode is kind of like inheriting that,
Yeah. But let's move on from this. You notice too, like I think that's why we got so off topic in the beginning because we probably didn't want to talk about this. Is probably what it was.
Yeah.
So,
I think that was like the main thing for the past though, aside from like the planes. Well, even that was kind of like the end of the episode.
Yeah. But before you talk about the next thing. I'll just mention Natalie and Travis's little quick scene they have, because it leads to that scene, your scene. So we see in the past.
I've been talking a lot.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So Travis is playing solitaire, with actual cards. You can't because you can't really do it virtually back then. And I don't even now I don't think he could.
He couldn't do it back in 1996, and because he's stranded in the middle of the fucking woods. Imagine he has a phone and he's fucking playing solitaire on it, but he's deciding not to call for help.
It reminds you of like what they typically do in sitcoms when the phone battery gets like to the lowest point, and they can like make one more phone call and they'll use it. And
they like fucking call and they like call for something stupid. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or in SpongeBob when Patrick has that $1. And he fucking buys it on he spends it in the vending machine and not like replacing Mr. Krabs' $1.
Right. But anyhow, so this is actually what's up?
I was gonna say it's like that joke we did where Javi, whenever Javi disappears, he just like there's like a town like to the west, like a mile away, and Javi just kind of goes there and he's not telling anybody.
When you looked over, I thought like we had to stop the video because you looked over.
No, I was just trying to. I just lost my train of thought, and it was just fucking the stupid running joke we've got.
But anyhow, Natalie points out to Travis that there's no queens in the deck, and that's actually foreshadowing, by the way, for something for season 2, by the way. So it's kind of cool that we heard it mentioned like all the way in season 1 type of thing. So
yeah, because is this your first time going back through season 1 after watching season 2?
Yeah, because I forgot that
you just picked up on it this viewing. Okay, that's interesting.
Well, I've watched this episode like 3 times in the past week because I keep thinking we're gonna do the video. I think
Oh yeah.
So I probably maybe not the first time what you're watching it, but I guess the third technically, but like the second time I went back and watched it type of thing. So, but that's pretty cool. Like that was set up like in season 1. Because season 2 kind of addresses that type of thing, which I think is pretty cool.
Okay.
And then, Natalie wants to go out hunting, and Travis really isn't into it, mainly because, Natalie brings up, like, maybe you'll get lucky, and I think Travis is just giving up on trying at this point because he realizes he's just not having any success when it comes to trying to have sex with Natalie. And he's like, you're better at it anyway.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think when she said like maybe you'll get lucky with the the animals, I think he took it as like maybe you'll get lucky, as because like saying you might get lucky is like code for like having sex with a girl.
I mean, that's what I thought she meant. So,
right. So, well, I thought she meant it as like maybe you'll get lucky with like the animals, and he took it as like maybe you'll get lucky with me.
But she gave him like a look though, so that's why I think.
Oh, okay. I mean, this is an example of me being the oblivious one.
Yeah, but Travis doesn't want to go, and Natalie doesn't really talk him into it, so she just kind of goes off. I like the music that played for this because it was kind of depressing, but it also because it's synced up really well because you're gonna talk about it when we get there. It was like showing Natalie in the present type of thing, like grieving about Travis. So I thought that synced up really well with these scenes and everything like that. But
I also like this because in the present, a lot of the characters talked about how like toxic and horrible Travis and Natalie were together.
Yeah.
Whereas in the past, it was mainly us seeing kind of like a lot of like sweet, like lovey-dovey, like the honeymoon phase,
Mm-hmm.
And last episode, we kind of had issues with like Travis, like not getting too nervous,
right?
But like that was like pretty small, pretty small scene. Pretty small scene, Travis. Don't worry, I'm talking about the scene that's small.
Poor Travis.
And then poor Travis, man. But yeah, this was an episode where it was like full on, like I can see why the relationship gets like really shitty in the future.
Yeah, definitely. But this leads to the next thing, because Natalie goes to meet with Coach Ben. Well, not really. I make it sound like they had a planned meeting. She went to the lake and he just happened to be there. That's kind of what it was. It wasn't like planned or anything like that. So,
yeah.
I was trying to, segue into that conversation. I just didn't do it very well. So, but yeah, because this is the scene you got to talk about. Because then I talk the rest of the
Natalie
past.
goes up to Ben. Ben's just there chilling, kicking his feet up.
Yeah. Oh no! Come on, AJ. Hey, at least it wasn't like episode like three Ben. That would have been really cool. But he's like grieving about it.
If I said that episode 3, Ben, he would have fucking killed himself.
And probably you first.
Yeah, he would have killed me and then himself. It's like what Church said in season 6. He's like, if you say anything, I will kill all 3 of us.
Yep.
I was waiting for you. I love seeing your face on that. It took a second.
Yeah.
But yeah,
you see, if he just said foot, if he just said foot too, I wouldn't have even thought anything of it. But when you said feet, I was like, oh, AJ, come on.
That's why I was like, should I say foot or feet? Yeah. So she sees Ben relaxing by the river. And it's funny because I mentioned last episode Ben's been like enjoying his like freedom from Misty.
Yeah.
And now Misty's back, so he's like, fuck.
Well, she wasn't back yet, but like, yeah.
I know, but like later in the episode. But like, yeah, this was probably an example of him, just like enjoying his free time away from Misty. And this is interesting because you brought up when he gave Travis those condoms, you brought up like this is going to be like interesting with what we learned about him later.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought the twist was going to be that like, oh, he was a big player, or that like he had a girlfriend like in the city that they were like going to for the game.
Right.
Not the case.
Well, there's more stuff to it than that, but
yeah. But Natalie goes over to him, and I forget what exactly. I forget what kickstarts her bringing it up, but basically Natalie reveals that like she knows he's gay.
Mm-hmm.
But what exactly did she say before that?
Well, she mentions. again, I have more of a memory of this than you because I've had to watch this episode like 3 times. So
I remember she brings up that like he's the only one who like doesn't watch them when they're like changing.
right.
Which is wow, creepy.
Yeah, that'd be creepy even then. But
yeah, I think that's creepy no matter what year it is.
She also mentions like she knows that like him and Misty are like a thin type of like Misty thinks they're a thin because she mentions how'd you convince?
That's right. Yeah. Natalie like jokes that like that he's like missing Misty.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, I don't know about that. And then then she brings up like, oh yeah, it's because you're gay, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then he like, I do like how he gets like nervous, like he's like, what? What are you talking about? And then her reasoning why she like put it together is, I do like this because it seems like this is something that she like knew for a while, not just like since they clashed.
Yeah,
they fucking crashed. English is my first language. So yeah, and then because she mentions like you're the only like coach who doesn't like watch us while we're getting changed,
right?
Which is really creepy. But I do like that. It's like I said, it seems like this is something Natalie has like picked up on for a while, and she like has kind of kept quiet about it.
Yeah, I like that.
And I do like Ben is like nervous at first, but then he kind of like once he like realizes Natalie's cool with it, he like says like he says like I had a boyfriend, and like he says like he might have messed it up. I'm curious what he means by that. I don't know if he means like because they like because he mentions his boyfriend wanted him to like move into the city,
right?
And then like he says like he kind of messed that up. I don't know if he means like they broke up prior to the plane crash or like because he's been out on the fucking woods for like 2 months. Now they're not like dating. He's kind of vague on like what he means exactly.
Yeah, they don't go into detail about it. We get some
because I say they broke. It seems like again they're being vague about it. Like he didn't say they broke up. He just says like I don't know. He's just vague on it.
I like this though. It makes sense so that Ben would keep it a secret. One of the reasons is because he's here in the 90s. He's like in his probably late 30s. He grew up at a time.
Late 30s? Really? I thought he was kind of young.
I
thought it was like late 20s, early 30s.
Yeah, that's what I'm kind of thinking. But yeah, it kind of makes sense because he kind of grew up like when gays probably weren't as accepted, in the 90s and stuff.
Yeah, that's why I was like a little weirded out by Tice and wanting to keep her relationship with Van a secret. Because I was like, well, one, you're out in the middle of the woods. Everyone's trying to survive. I don't think anyone really cares about you like being gay.
Yeah.
And two, like you're a teenager in the late 90s. Like I don't think people really care that much.
But teenager in the 80s, 70s ish, they want to care a little bit more. So
that one I get a bit more.
And then obviously the reason he doesn't want it to get out is because if Misty finds out, he's probably worried what's going to happen to him since she poisoned him. Like 2 episodes ago.
Misty's like, it's okay. I can convert him. I can fix him.
So I think
Misty's a serial killer and homophobic.
Yeah. Well, only to Ben. So
Ben specifically. Yeah.
But it makes sense. But it does make more sense why Ben doesn't want everyone in the wilderness, right? Because I don't think he wants Misty to find out. Because she's crazy. So.
And but yeah, you're right. That does bring up the question of like why he had so many condoms on him.
Yeah, I remember we talked about this privately. You mentioned like it couldn't spread STDs, but like still, like I don't know why he had that many. So
yeah.
Whatever.
Because I think he did mention the Travis, like the STD thing.
Yeah.
Like I think his main concern was the pregnancy, but he did mention like offhandedly, like they prevent STDs too.
So maybe he's being genuine.
Yeah. I don't know. Even then, it's still kind of like I don't know.
Yeah. What I liked about the scene is like now you're like worried Misty's gonna find out about it because if Misty finds out, like I'm like worried about Coach Ben's safety right now, type of thing. So.
I was joking, but like Misty's really going on that like I can fix him mindset. Like, ugh.
Right.
Misty's about to take him to fucking conversion camp.
I mean, not even just that, but like, because because he's lying because he's also in a relationship right now, so that's gonna make Misty like jealous of him and and everything like that. So
Yeah. Well, that's why I was saying they're kind of vague on if he actually is in a relationship or not. So that's why I was like not sure if Misty would care about that.
It's Misty. I mean, it's scary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I just meant like I don't know if that would be a factor or not because like he was kind of vague on if he was even in a relationship.
Right.
I'm sure I'm sure there's more going to be revealed about him later. So like I'm kind of just making basing what little I have right now. But yeah, that does. Yeah, I am curious about all the condoms. Yeah, because like I don't know, it feels like such a weird thing to like it's like for STDs.
Yeah.
It feels like there's more to it than that.
I don't think we'll ever find out because they've been.
Is that it? Do we not find out any more about it?
What?
Oh, I was saying. I assume that was like something we're going to find out more about later. Is that not brought up again?
I haven't heard about it. Maybe they're gonna put it up though. So.
Oh wow. Okay. So I assume they were going to bring it up in the next couple episodes or season 2. Oh, so it's legit just like dropped.
I haven't heard about it. So.
Oh. Okay. Fucking. All right.
I don't know why he has them. So.
Okay. Yeah, but I guess just for STDs then. I guess he's just extra careful. Okay.
Good job.
Yeah. Okay. Good for him. I don't know if you're fucking with me or not. I don't know if you're playing mind game.
But anyhow, let's continue with Natalie and Coach Ben's little conversation that they have.
Yeah, you're right. So yeah, Natalie's kind of she brings up that Travis can't really like perform, and I like how Ben is kind of like, oh, okay, gotcha. And I do like how he's kind of like, well, listen, that's like, not unheard of. Because
what also makes you put this up is she thinks Travis is gay. That's why he's not performing.
Oh, yeah. I'm like, damn, poor Travis. I do kind of wish Ben, like, supported him a little bit more. Like, he says, like, it's not unheard of.
Yeah.
I wish he was kind of just, like, because, like, he was kind of he had Travis's back earlier with the condoms.
Right.
I kind of wish he, like, was like, hey, listen, don't worry, it happens. The guys, when he says like it's not unheard of, he makes it seem like it's like it happens, but it's not uncommon. I wish he kind of like backed him up a little bit more, like, hey, don't worry, he to be fair, he backs him up a little bit later because he says like, listen, I've seen the way that kid looks at you, like he's head over heels for you, like don't worry about it.
I wish he would have said too, like they had like maybe he didn't want to make him mad, but like I did have a little bit of a talk like with him. That's probably why he's nervous too, type of thing.
Yeah, I wish he brought that up. Yeah. Where because like because obviously the condom, Natalie saw the condom.
Yeah.
So I do wish he like brought that up.
Yeah.
More like, hey, listen, I had a talk with him. It might have made him a little nervous. I think he does say like, listen, the plane crash might have been like making him nervous too.
Yeah. Well, they tried fucking in the plane that crashed, so
right where his dad died. So like,
yeah.
So I'm just saying, I do kind of wish Ben like kind of like had Travis's back a little bit more, like reassuring her.
Definitely, I do like that he does say like I hope, I think there'll be another chance if you'll give him one. Like he does say like
right. I do like that. Where like, hey, listen, like if he also specifies like if you give him another chance if you want to. Like he's not like pressuring her to like give him another chance.
Yeah.
But he is like trying to back up Travis a little bit. Like, hey, like. He's not gay. He's probably just nervous. Like he's a kid. Just like, don't like stress it. Don't take it personally.
And I like this talk here because this was kind of like the first time where Ben's been able to like kind of give someone advice and kind of be useful. I think too.
Yeah, this is like his first one-on-one with anyone besides Misty
and Travis.
Yeah, and Travis. Yeah.
So this was good. I liked this. And this continues because I think because then afterwards like. Travis kind of tells Natalie to like not say anything about him being gay. That was pretty much the end of that. So
yeah,
he doesn't say like I don't want Misty. He kind of implies it though. I don't want Misty to find out. Like he's about to say it, but like that's kind of that's the main person. I don't think he wants to find out. So
yeah.
But yeah, continuing with because this leads to some more stuff with Natalie and Travis. We see that Travis is checking the traps to see if they've caught any fish or anything like that. And Jackie, who's still hurting from the last episode, is still upset. And I kind of like this because, they're both going through relationship issues. But but for different reasons. I do notice this. The characters go to like the worst people for advice. Like this was the worst.
Yeah, I was gonna say Travis and Jackie have not been in a single scene together, and then now they're together at like the worst possible time.
But anyhow, I'll continue with it.
I keep talking. I got someone at my door.
Yeah, fine. So yeah, you know, Travis, you know, Jackie's asking Travis why he didn't want to go hunting, and he says that he told, you know, Natalie to go without him. And Natalie's like, you know, is kind of pressing him, asking him like, hey, did something happen? And Travis, you know, quotes a philosopher saying like, you know, if anything can happen, it will happen, or something like that. And then Jackie, you know, is kind of telling like relationships are BS, and you know, kind of putting down Natalie a little bit, kind of mentioning, you know, that she kind of dates a lot of dirtbags and all that type of stuff. And I like that Travis kind of calls her out on it, type of thing, being like, "Wow, thanks," like making me feel great. And then you know, Jackie's kind of mentioned like, you're not the what I was talking about. Like she mentions like back home she used to date kind of dirtbags, and she mentions to Travis that before they were, you know, the plane crash and before they went on, you know, to the soccer finals and all that type of stuff. You could just show right there that I don't watch sports, and that I called it soccer finals. That just that's the first thing you probably heard when I came back was soccer finals too.
I can't wait for that sport ball game where they get all the touch runs.
But anyhow, Jackie mentions that Natalie was seeing someone, and like she missed practice and like school for like a week with someone who had like already graduated, and she doesn't know the person's name exactly, but she mentions that it's Bobby something, and that's kind of triggers...
right. And then that like Travis kind of like is like he lifts his head up. Yeah, I do like that.
Yeah.
Or I like Jackie's like Bobby something.
Yeah.
And he's like, wait a minute. He's like, Bobby who?
Yeah, and then you know, Jackie says Bobby Foley. And I actually didn't catch this until the second watch along, because, you know, I went a little bit without watching, like, the opening. So I thought originally the fight that they had was Natalie was lied to him about how many guys she'd actually been with. But then I didn't realize, I forgot, this is the guy that Travis told her, like, made fun of him for being flex and everything like that. And Natalie didn't mention that she's been, like, with this guy. So this is what set Travis off right here. Yeah. And, you know, Jackie doesn't even realize what she did.
Yeah, Jackie doesn't fully realize it. Yeah, but at the same time, Jackie, I get she's hurting because of, you know, what Sean and Jeff did.
Yeah.
But, like, Jackie, shut the fuck up. I don't know, man. It just seems like such a shitty thing to do. You know, like, you don't go to, like, somebody and, like, shit talk their boyfriend, girlfriend, you know?
Yeah. And, you know, so this is kind of cool, actually, because I knew this fight happened, but I thought it was before she found out about the Shauna thing, so I'm like... Oh, so when I saw last episode, that's when Jackie found out this fight hadn't happened. And like now Jackie ruining this relationship makes a lot more sense, because it wouldn't make sense if Jackie did it like last episode before she found out about Shauna. But you know, Jackie's hurting right now. It kind of feels like she wants. I don't think she. You know, I like that she didn't intentionally ruin this relationship. It seemed like, you know, she was hurting, so she didn't really care about other people's happiness.
It's a shitty thing to do, but like it makes sense. Like, I get it. She's hurting on, because she even says like, you know, I like how Travis is like being self-conscious and like he's kind of blaming himself. He's like, oh man, I really screwed up.
Yeah, and she says,
which is why, like, you know, when he was like kind of ignoring Natalie at the beginning of this episode, I think he's just like being really awkward, and like he doesn't like you know, it seems like he knows he's like being an asshole, and he kind of like doesn't know how to fix it. And then I do like how Jackie's like, listen, relationships are overrated. Trust me. You know, she's obviously hurting from.
Yeah. So I like that she didn't do this intentionally. It was more like she's hurting, and she didn't, you know, she's kind of venting him, but like unintentionally hurting other people around her, not really realizing it. So I like that she didn't intentionally like ruin this relationship and all that type of stuff. So, you know, Travis goes back to the cabin. And
I just, as I said, I think it's weird because we have not seen Jackie or Travis like interact at all.
Yeah.
So it just seems really weird for them to be together for this conversation to happen.
But it will. At least they've been like together. Like if this was like the first conversation like they've ever had, this would be bad. But at least they've been together like enough.
Well, I'm pretty sure it was, right?
I'm just saying I'm just saying like in general at all. Like this is like in a like they've been around each other at least in group settings.
Yeah, they've been in like groups. I was just saying it's weird because like they're like together, like they're only 2 people there.
Yeah, but it kind of worked out for this. I think it worked because Jackie was hurting type of thing, and it kind of works too because it's up. Travis was checking the traps and Jackie was there because she's still hurting. So at least it wasn't like one of those things where like
Yeah, I think it was more so that like it cuts to the scene and they're already there. But yeah, like you said, I think it's more so that like they just happen to be at the same place at the same time.
Yeah. But yeah, Travis Storm.
Real quick, I was gonna because the scene made me remember. Misty told Shauna that Travis died, and Shauna like seemed really sad about it.
Yeah.
At the end of that one episode, and we haven't seen Travis or Shauna like talk at all. We haven't really seen Travis talk with anyone except Natalie and like Javi and Ben, pretty much.
Right. So that is interesting.
So I kind of hope that they do that a bit more.
Yeah.
Like, like they have Travis like actually interact more with the group.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, Travis, goes back to the cabin. He's obviously hurting, and Natalie wants to talk to him to kind of work out their issues. And then the first thing that Travis says to her is Bobby Foley, and obviously this makes Natalie realize like, yep, he knows, and Travis is upset that he lied to her, pretty much. And she's like, yeah, but I mentioned it been 2 guys, but I knew you would be upset with me if I mentioned who it was. And she mentions, like, that was before I even knew about the Flex stuff. And Travis, says, like, that I put him... She mentioned she made a mistake, and Travis is like, well, apparently so did I. And then... Now he's like, wait, what does that mean? He's like, what do you think it means? Like, basically saying that it's over, pretty much. Like, the relationship is done. And that's it. They never talked at it again. They never met.
That's it. Yep. They never talked for the rest of the show. And then Natalie and Travis live healthy lives after they get rescued.
Honestly, that probably would have been better off. But no. Natalie,
at the end of the episode, Laura successfully flies the plane and gets them all help.
Yeah. But no, like Natalie's like, wait, are you gonna really end this over something stupid? And then Travis is like, yeah, I guess so. And then Natalie even mentions, like, it's a good thing that we never had sex, because then this would be really awkward if we had sex. And I like the
well, I think she says like it would be a lot harder, as in like she would be more like attached to him like than if they like slept together.
Yeah. But I like
I kind of like that more, like that because then obviously she's trying to say like, oh, I'm not that emotionally attached to you anyway. Like she's trying to like make it seem like she doesn't really care that much when she obviously does.
And what I like about this argument is they're both not really wrong, but they're both not really in the right type of thing. Like obviously Travis is hurting because he found out that Natalie had a relationship with the kid that made fun of him, which is pretty relatable, honestly. And then I like that Natalie's hurting because like one, she's upset that Travis even found out, and she's upset that Travis isn't going to let it go. So I could kind of see both perspectives here. I kind of like.
Yeah,
this.
I feel like I sided a bit more with Travis.
Oh,
like,
definitely.
Because he. To be fair, okay, so like as Natalie pointed out, like she didn't even know about all the the Flex thing and like his his relationship with Bobby.
Mm-hmm.
So like can't really blame her for like getting with a guy before she even knew Travis.
Right.
As she pointed out, but yeah, I think the main thing was she hid it.
Yeah.
I feel like she should have like told him, like she shouldn't have tried to hide it.
Yeah. But yeah, afterwards when Travis slams the cabin door because he's upset, and then Jackie comes out right afterwards, and Natalie kind of puts 2 and 2 together, like, okay, yeah, so she's been out there, and Travis came from like the same location, so it's not like she kind of put 2 and 2 together, like, yeah, you're the one that said something. How? Well, fuck you then, Jackie. Which I actually kind of like that someone did that finally. Someone did the fuck you, because we've been doing that.
And I am curious what Jackie's feeling, because like the face she gives, like when it like zooms in on her, is very like neutral.
Yeah, it's different. Kind of like
so she doesn't seems like she doesn't really feel bad about it. She's just kind of like whatever.
Yeah, but again, this fight makes more sense that it happened after because it'd be really shitty if Jackie did this like before she found out that Shauna and Jeff were like having an affair behind their back.
I think this is a better version of. Remember when we were like ripping on Jackie for like getting shitty at Natalie?
Yeah,
for like not getting them food, I'm like, Jackie, we just had an entire episode about how you're useless.
So I like this though, like Jackie's
So
hurting.
yeah, this was built up better. Yeah, I agree.
Jackie's hurting, and she's kind of like putting everybody down, like around her, type of thing. Like if I have to suffer, you all have to suffer too, type of thing. So I liked this. And it was actually a really good follow up, like because it was like the first thing Jackie did like all episode. This episode, like it was the first thing we saw after like she found out about like Sean and Jeff. But I kind of talked a lot about what did you kind of think of like everything that happened with Travis and Natalie and like the whole Jackie thing.
I mean, not like the most exciting thing, because again, I feel this is more so like high school melodrama, I guess, in a way. But like, it's not really like the life or death, like I thought the Van stuff was like, even though I hated the wolf attack, I thought it was like that was more exciting, Van being injured and then like having to get her to safety, and what happens later with Laura and the plane.
Yes.
Like, so as far as the past stuff goes, I guess this was like the weakest link, but like I still like it.
Yeah, it's good.
Building off because they've been building up Natalie and Travis' relationship, and we know they're gonna have like a really shitty long-term relationship where they're gonna be constantly like toxic to each other. So as I was saying, we saw a lot of like the honeymoon phase, and now we're kind of getting to see a bit more of like that troubled relationship where they're gonna be stuck in for a long time.
I wanted to, in a weird way, if Jackie is the one that kind of caused it to happen too, type of thing. Like this was like the beginning of it, or is this just a little thing that happens type of thing?
Yeah, I wouldn't fully, because like, as we know, they're gonna have a shitty relationship for fucking decades.
Yeah,
I think it's unfair to blame Jackie for that, but like, yeah, no, I think you can. Well, I think it's like you said. It's kind of like I see all sides. I think everyone's kind of partially to blame. Travis is being really immature. Like he's like we saw he was like feeling bad and feeling guilty about it.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, he was kind of just like blowing off Natalie and not like wanting to talk to her because he was feeling insecure.
Right.
So I get he's a teenager, but like, yeah, he's definitely like to blame for like not wanting to communicate properly. Natalie's obviously to blame because she lied about how many people she got with, and specifically that she was in a relationship previously with a guy that like Travis like doesn't like and like bullied him.
Yeah.
And obviously Jackie is big to blame for taking out her relationship.
A bit.
Yeah. I thought I said big. Is big to blame for her like, taking out her issues with Sean and Jeff on Natalie and Travis,
Yeah. But continuing, the last thing we see in the past,
it's like the perfect storm, like all this shit kind of colliding together,
and it sets up something really great,
creating an explosion, if you will, Owen.
It sets up something really great too, the Natalie stuff that's going to happen next episode. So just be on the lookout.
Okay, I'm looking forward to
that. And then the last thing we get in the past.
Well, sorry, real quick. It's interesting because you brought up like you wonder if Jackie's the reason why they have such a difficult relationship in the future. This is interesting because I know they're going to get back together, obviously.
Yes.
But like as you were joking, that's it. They broke up and they never talked to each other again. It's that's why that's what's so interesting about like stuff like this where what happens.
Yeah.
Like we know Travis dies. But we also know they're in a relationship for so long after this. So it's interesting knowing that they're going to get back together. So I'm interested in.
And it doesn't work out. It's toxic.
And it still doesn't work out. Yeah. So I'm interested in like what brings them together, and then like you said, like what keeps the relationship so turbulent.
Right. Well, we know what I think, but yeah.
Well, yeah. Obviously, like they get into like drug use once they get home, but like like what are and obviously like I'm assuming the PTSD is because of like. I mean, the drug use is because of like PTSD.
You say that, but like, that the whole Thaisa thing. No, I'm not even sure. They could be
true. I thought the whole sleepwalking thing was because of PTSD, and now I'm like, well, fuck, no, it wasn't actually.
So Travis and freaking Natalie could be fucking shooting it up like in the wilderness just randomly and just like awesome.
Yeah, they just find some drugs like in the plane crash. Like, hey, let's party.
But anyhow, let's finish off the last end of the past. We get like a super pass moment. I always hate when we cover the past and then they show a flashback. I have to call it.
I like when you call it the Super Pass.
Because it is.
Again, with Dragon Ball, like you know about Super Saiyan. It's like fucking. There's the past, and then there's the Super Past.
I can't watch. We're gonna get like the few. They're gonna show a flash forward like in the present. And I'm gonna have to call it like the super. Well, I guess I just call it
the super future.
Yeah, but no, we get the super past. And we see that Laura. Obviously she's younger here. She's probably like 15, maybe. And then we see that she's at a religious camp, like a summer camp type of thing, and they're at the pool.
And
she dives in.
When I saw this, I was so confused. So
let me talk about it.
Let me talk into the water. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, she just dives into the water, and then like obviously because it's shallow water, like she hits her head. Like what happened? Like because you don't see.
I'm like, all right. If I were the lifeguard, I'd be like, all right, look, natural selection of this. Like God.
Yeah.
And listen, this is a sign from God. He did not want this girl to live.
I laughed at this when I saw this the first time, and like I think when I first saw this, I probably went back and like this was meant to be like I want to point this out. I think this was meant to be a serious scene, but I couldn't help myself but like laugh because I'm just like
well, I couldn't tell if this was supposed to be serious or not. Because also like the lifeguard gives her CPR and she comes back and like she like sees the guy's like cross necklace. And she's like, "You saved me!" Like looking at the cross.
Yeah, and then the guy says,
and the lifeguard, he gives like the goofiest fucking like face.
Yeah,
and he's like, "No, Laura, I didn't save you. He did." like he actually fucking says it like that. Like it's so goofy.
No, but like,
serious or not?
I want to just talk about the.
Actually, not when he says like, "I didn't save you," he did. There's like a big ass fucking like light behind him. Like obviously implying like God is like fucking looking over him.
But just like some guy's just behind him. He's just pointing he's supposed to be pointing to God, but it looks like he's just pointing to that guy type of thing. Like that'd be awesome. Like some weird.
You like Family Guy. There's one joke where Peter's like, "Oh, thank you, Jesus," and then Jesus is like, "No, actually, it wasn't me." And then like the Buddha is right next to him, and he's like, don't worry about it. I'm used to it.
No, but I want to go back to like her diving into the water because I want to talk about why I thought this was so funny because like it shows her like about to jump in. No, I don't even think she even gets up to jump in. She's just sitting by like the freaking like.
Yeah, like it's so immediate. Like we see her like on the edge of the pool, like about to jump in, and then it just like hard cuts to like under the water, and she just fucking smacks her. It's so immediate, and there's like no build up to it.
It just happens, like.
Yeah.
I think what's so funny about it, I was like, what was she thinking was gonna happen? Like.
And also like okay. As a former 911 operator, I'm like, what CPR? Would you? I guess you would do CPR because she was under the water, but like, she banged her head, like. So I feel like
I kind of noticed this.
I'm like,
the next scene.
Do you even do CPR?
No, but the next scene, she doesn't have the blood anymore. Like her head's just fine. I think.
Yeah, I'm also just like again, like why'd you dive into the shallow end?
I don't get this at all. I know she's like 15.
This was just such a weird scene. Again, like you said, I couldn't tell if this was supposed to be like serious or like comedy.
I think it was supposed to be serious. That's why I'm like, But
again, the lifeguard was just so goofy. The way he said it, like, "No, Laura," because like you can do a scene like that, like seriously, but like why she's like so devout, she believes like God, like saved her from like drowning, but like, nah, he's just like, "No, Laura, I didn't save you. He did."
I like to think too. They probably did several takes. Every time he did it seriously. But for some reason, this one's the one that like came out like joking.
Well, I like how we joke about how like the director, like the actors get like one chance, and like if they don't do it right, the director's like cut them out of the next episode. I like that's what this guy got his one take, and like, all right, that's it, lifeguard, you're out of the show from now on. We're not gonna. This lifeguard was supposed to be like a character, and they like cut him out of the show.
I know I haven't technically met him yet. I like to think the director of Yellowjackets is the director from OVB. Just torture. This is what Church had to.
It's like you're out of the show.
This is what Alpha had to go with the whole time. He had to keep doing the same shit like over and over again, and like keep trying.
And it fucking drove him crazy. And then the director was like, "All right, you're done. You're going to Blood Gold."
But I want to talk about the scene one more time, and then we'll move on. So let me, episodes. This was the start of the. I feel like too why this stands out so much. It was like the first. It was the first thing of the whole episode too. Like it was like that's why it stands out so much. So, like she's just chilling at the pool, sitting down. You know, because feet in the water. You know, it makes sense.
It's so happy too. You see little kids swimming and playing. You see everyone's just having a great time.
And then just camera shot under the water. I'm gonna dive into shallow water because that makes sense. Yeah. I guess her parents never had a talk with her. Like, yeah, don't dive into shallow water. It didn't read the sign, nothing. Just like dives into, like, I don't understand what happened. Did she? Because clearly, it would make more sense if she was sitting down and like maybe like she like overcommitted. But it clearly looks like she got up and just decided I'm gonna. It happened it happened so randomly.
No build-up.
It happened so randomly. All of a sudden, you're just under the. I think this is all in the span of like a minute. This all happened. Like
this whole flashback. Yeah, like okay, so what? Like for me, when I was watching this, you know, again they showed her about to jump in the water. Then it cut to like underwater, and I was like, oh wow, that's pretty shallow. And then immediately she fucking slams her head as I was thinking that, and I was like I legit like made a face. I was like, what?
How did she not know she was in the shallow end? Like, did she not know? Like,
and again, like it's filmed so abruptly. Again, there's no build up to it. It just kind of happens.
Honestly, this is one of those scenes. Like, this is one of those scenes.
It feels so. Oh, sorry, go ahead. What were you saying?
This is one of those scenes right here. It's so bad, it's good. It's so bad, it's good. It's awesome. Yeah. I love it.
And it feels so unnecessary too. Like again, like. It's trying to show that, like, oh, Laura's religious and she believes in, like, God's faith. I'm like, no fucking shit.
Is this why?
Before this episode, I didn't know her name was Laura. I kept calling her Bible Girl.
Oh, so Laura's tie was for you if we're breaking... Because she died this episode. She died this episode when you finally learned her name. So.
Oh, true. God damn it. You're right. You fucking learned... You learned his name the episode he died. I finally fucking remember her name was Laura. And not religion girl or Bible girl when she fucking dies.
Yeah, but let's continue. This scene was honestly, I know this scene was awesome because of how
I like it, but it's so pointless.
I actually like it because it's shit. That's how I love it.
Yeah, one of those so bad it's good.
Yeah, it's awesome. Love it. But no, then it cuts to the present. They do all that stuff with like Lottie and Laura talk, and that's cool. It's nice little talk. You can tell I'm giddy now because like I just talked about a really funny scene. I'm gonna get. Let me. By the way, so like obviously afterwards, what you did mention was when Van was being like attended to. You know, Laura kind of gets a look on his face, like, yeah, we got to do something about this now. Like this can't continue anymore. And then,
right. Well, she also kind of like she brings that up because she like at the next morning.
Yeah. I'm just saying, like they made a point to cut to like Laura really watching this type of thing. And then we see the next morning. I want to mention this now because I want to. The last scene is pretty serious, so I want to make sure we're not giddy doing that. Harvey just showed back up like randomly the next morning. He hasn't been he wasn't in that whole episode to the whole show until like the next morning. What the hell you go, dude? Where were you going?
I know. Again, I like that. Like Taissa went south.
Yeah.
I like to think if she just went west, like from a mile away, there's like a town, and Harvey just kind of goes there,
just chilling. I like to think.
Oh, I think you brought this up last episode. That episode of Jimmy Neutron, where they get stranded out in the woods or in the middle of the ocean, and Carl just went to that island to fucking get more fruit.
And came back. That's awesome. Like he came.
And then came back. Yeah.
And like, he doesn't mention it. Doesn't mention like he just mentions the food. Doesn't mention where he got him or anything like that. Like, hey, there's an island over. I like too. He just went. Oh. I like that Carl just. I know we're talking. Carl just went. Like, he didn't wake up Sheen or Libby to tell him where he was going. He just went. Like,
and Star Wars: The Clone Wars, Obi-Wan and Anakin are like in the middle of a war, and they've been like trying to get into this city for like a month. And then Anakin comes back, and Obi-Wan's like, "Hey, where'd you get all that food?" And he's like, "Oh, in the city, we're trying to invade." He's like, "What? You got in?" He's like, "Yeah, there's a sewer system. I got into the city and I got some food and I came back."
That's awesome. But anyhow, so yeah, Harvey was just back, because that's what he does.
Yeah.
And Laura makes an announcement, that, with everything kind of going on with, like, Van needing medical attention and, like, Thaisa's expedition being what it was, she decides that she's going to fly the plane. And, the reason she comes up with is pretty reasonable. She mentions, that if we don't do this, Van, like you said, Van needs medical attention. It's going to get winter soon. They could starve to death. And then Jackie kind of mentions, well, Van's not the only one that needs medical attention. And she kind of has Shauna tell the group that she's pregnant. And I do love, by the way, that, like, I think one of the characters asked, like, did you get knocked up here? Like, so think about what you just asked right there. Like, that means the only person she could have gotten knocked up with was with Travis.
Wait, I don't remember that. Someone asked that? I don't remember that.
Yeah, so that doesn't really add up, but whatever.
Well, okay, well, I mean, to be fair, they could be thinking Travis is a fuckboy.
That's true.
Yeah, Javi's kind of on the young side, and then, well, I mean, they don't know Ben is gay, but they would think he's a pedophile.
That's right. So yeah, like,
so yeah, you're right. Your options are Travis is cheating on Natalie, Shauna's a pedo, or Ben is a pedo.
But it's just the way she also asked that question. Like, there's other, like, Travis isn't the, like, what did you get knocked up here? Like, as if there was been, like, there's other people other than Travis that was, like, an option type of thing. So it was just really weird.
Well, that's what I'm saying. There are only 3 options, and all 3 of them are like,
yeah. But anyhow, Jackie.
Oh, and it's funny, as we were saying, Adam, if he wasn't an eternal demigod who was always the same age, he would be younger than Javi right here.
Yes, he would. But, Jackie kind of shuts all the questions. I was like, it doesn't matter when it happened, but what's important is we just need to get Shauna to safety. And I actually like this because the Coach Ben is actually talking like Laura out of it. He's like, no, this is drastic. You don't know how to fly the plane. Like, I'm not going to let you do this. Like, he's kind of I like that he's actually putting his foot down this time. Like, no, like, this isn't happening. Hey, that was better than what you did. You did that on purpose. There was some vitriol there.
Oh, you didn't do that on purpose? I thought you did that on purpose.
No, because because I said he's putting his foot down because he's got one foot. So
yeah, true. Yeah, his foot is always down. It has to be down.
Well, he's putting how about his crutches down? Does that sound better to you, AJ? His crutches.
I imagine Ben actually said that. Like, I'm putting my foot down, and Laura's like, "What foot?"
Yeah.
Then Ben,
you know what sucks? I don't even think Ben. No, he does have. I was just saying, I don't even think he has crutches, but no, he does have crutches. That's good. He at least has crutches.
All right, Ben. You know what? Why don't you just fucking use your Omnitrix and then turn into stink fly and fly out of there?
I wonder what would happen if Ben did that, if he doesn't have a leg, type of thing. Like, how would that work?
That's a good point. Yeah, actually, yeah. Because you're not at that point yet. Later on, Ben like breaks his arm, and like his arm is still broken as an alien.
So would he not have an arm? Like,
yeah. So that's why I think legitimately, if like Ben lost his limb, he like wouldn't have a limb as an alien.
What about forearms? Probably the same. Like, he probably would have one of his arms, probably.
He'd have 2 arms. So he'd have the normal amount of arms.
But anyhow, Laura's pretty much saying, like, what are you going to do to stop me, Coach? As if saying, like, Laura said, like, you can't do shit, pretty much.
You missed it. I like how, so Laura, she mentions Van needs medical attention, like, right away. Because as I mentioned earlier, like, they, can't really give her much medical attention because they're all, like, teenage girls. They're, as Thaisa mentioned before, like, winter's coming. Yeah. Game of Thrones. The winter is coming. There's like no food. They're gonna starve or freeze to death. And she says like we're gonna fucking freeze to death, and I like that because they kind of established like Laura doesn't really swear much.
Yeah, so that was good.
So like her like swearing is kind of like showing like character growth,
and that she's kind of that she's serious about
loose a little, like taking risks,
and she's serious about doing this. And I like that it's like her grandfather or one of her relatives like did this for a living, so it's not like it's just some random person trying to do this. And she's like, she's been like studying the manual, and she said she's flown a few times like with her relatives and stuff. So,
and as fucked up as it is, I am curious. So obviously Laura like decided to like do this right now because of what happened to Van, and like they didn't know about Shauna, but once Shauna said she's pregnant, like that like double confirmed it.
Yeah.
I kind of wonder, what would have happened if Laura. Wait, there seems to be like a supernatural thing that is like keeping them here. So I am curious, like, okay, like, maybe the plane was like never gonna work.
Well, let me get to that though. So, because I'm not even there yet. So,
well, I was gonna say like, what if Laura, like, what if Van didn't get injured? What if maybe Laura would like hold off a bit,
right?
And maybe how what would that change if Laura decided, like practiced a bit more and like checked the plane more for like anything that would fuck up?
Yeah, that's true. But yeah, continuing. Everyone's kind of helping out. They're like cutting down like branches and trees and stuff, so that way Laura can like get to the plane. There's a position where she can fly it. Doing this, Shauna kind of goes up and kind of confronts Jackie, like wonders like, did you really have to tell everyone I was pregnant? And Jackie's like, well, Shauna, how can I not? Like, we have a chance to get you and the baby out of here. And now's not really the time to be keeping secrets. And you can definitely tell, like, with the tone of Jackie's voice that she's not being genuine. And obviously, like, showing, like, she knows more than, like, Shauna's than she's letting on to Shauna, which I thought was kind of cool. And I think Shauna kind of noticed, like, with the tone of Jackie's voice, something was up. Just didn't pick up on.
Yeah, because, like, Shauna, like, gets up, like, storms off, and then she, like, quickly, like, pulls some weeds out of the ground. Like, she seems really pissed off.
Yeah, so I like this kind of... I like that young Shauna took a back seat this time, and we got more Jackie this time, like her reaction of like Shauna's, finding out that Shauna and Jack are sleeping together.
Because I was going to mention it earlier, I kind of forgot. I'm interested in, so I was curious what Jackie was going to do, like if she was going to like immediately confront Shauna. But yeah, this is interesting because she wants to get them out of here. So she's obviously she's obviously depressed because she's like told Travis like, don't worry, relationships are overrated.
Yeah.
Or like, she's not like immediately confronting Shauna on it, even though she's being like passive aggressive towards her. And like, she's bringing up that Shauna's pregnant to like try and get them help as soon as they can. So I'm kind of curious on what Jackie's thinking, like if she does still like care about Shauna, or if she's just like, what I mean? Like, I'm just curious what she's thinking.
Definitely. Like, what did she have?
Because it seems like she's not like, fuck you, Shauna. Like, I want you to die. Like,
Right. But then, the end of the episode, Laura gets ready to go on the plane. She gives everybody a hug. More specifically, Lottie. They get the final hug, which makes sense because they've kind of built a friendship while they were out there.
Yeah, I like that.
She gets into the plane, and one last try, Coach Ben tries to convince her, like, not to do it, but Laura's like, yeah, sorry, Coach, this is my purpose. I will mention earlier, when I watched this episode the second time the past week, Adam mentioned she had a girlfriend, like, in college named, well, I think his name was Lauren, but I thought he said Laura. Did they do that to throw us off? But no, I just got the names wrong. That would have been cool. That would have been cool if they did that. Like, it just happened to have the same name to kind of throw us off.
Yeah. Yeah, I really feel bad for Ben here. Like, yeah, as we said, he's the only one to be like fully against it. And then, Laura, tells him like, you can't stop me. And then, yeah, he tries one last time. Like, look, I can't stop you, but like, please don't do this.
Yeah, I like that Ben, and it makes sense that Ben would talk about it because this is a drastic step to do, type of thing. Like, you've never flown a plane in your life, type of thing. So,
yeah, and he's the adult there. Everyone else is kind of like they're young and they're kind of like hopeful. Ben is, I think, trying to be more realistic. Of like, listen, don't do this, please.
Yeah. But it goes well in the beginning. She starts to fly.
Well, I will say I like how they're doing more escape attempts.
Yeah.
Like I was, like the middle part of the season, I was a little disappointed. They were kind of just like bumming around. Yeah. Because obviously like the first 3 episodes were like dealing with the plane crash, and then like last episode was like them kind of venturing out farther to like try and get help, and then this episode was like the plane. So I'm saying I'm glad that like we're getting more of like them trying to like think of ways to get out of here.
And I like this too, just because it makes sense while they're actually trying, because Van needs medical attention. Now they know Sean is pregnant, so they kind of kind of lit a fire under their
And
ass.
I think we said they didn't do a great job establishing that like they're running low on food.
Yeah, because they didn't really talk about that.
Like, that's also a factor. And I really felt the characters on this one. Like, this is soul crushing.
Yeah, but let me talk about it. So,
yeah,
Laura, it's going really well in the beginning. She's able to get the plane started because I don't even think. Well, we knew the plane started because it started the last episode actually. So, but then it starts to take off. She gets it to 55 miles per hour. Which is what she needed, so that way she could take off. And it looks like there's going to be hope. Now let's be real here. Before I say this, obviously we knew something was going to happen because again the style.
It hasn't been 18 months yet.
Yeah, so we knew something was going to go on. I thought originally what they were going to do was they were going to do something with Laura because they did something with a character in Walking Dead who was like very religious and like he would get into situations where he'd be near death or like need some type of help and like coincidentally everything would be clear. Like example, like he's like blind and like they go to like a cabin and he has the guy has like the medicine for him to like help his vision, so showing like God was like showing stuff for him. But then at the end, he gets.
I was curious because I think I told you while I was like really drunk, I watched an episode of Game of Walking Dead with Daryl, and it was like he's in Europe and for some reason, and like he like stays at like a church, and they like think this little kid is like the Messiah.
Okay, but anyhow, my point.
I was wondering if that was what you were talking about, but no.
Yeah, but my point is, what ends up happening at the end was he doesn't die at the end, but he gets like fucked over at the end type of thing, type of thing. So like, I thought they were gonna do the same thing here. They didn't do that part of it, where like they kept doing like an act of God thing. But what ends up happening was the plane does take off, it flies, and like everyone's really hopeful at this point. Coach Ben is shocked too, like shocked and happy type of thing because he can't believe like he actually worked.
My God, you crazy bastards! Like he's like happy. He's like, oh my God, I can't believe she's doing it.
And then, like, Laura's like, yeah, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna save them. She has a bear next to her, like a teddy bear. And the bear catches on fire. And, the plane starts smoking up. And Jackie even points out, like, is that smoke? And the plane just explodes. We don't really know why this happened. It could be something supernatural. It could be one of those things where, this plane had been sitting around for a while. They said they had a full tank of gas. The gas could have just been old. It could have been some, again, maybe the plane was old because, they didn't mention that the person had been gone for a while. So who knows why it happened, but I'm pretty interested in that.
Yeah, I'm wondering if that's going to get brought up because obviously, when we first saw the plane, Lottie mentioned that like there was like like the wheels were like locked in by like the grass and like she said like it didn't want him to leave.
Right.
That makes me curious if like this is legit just like like a malfunction of the plane or if like this was like a supernatural thing.
But what everyone what really gets everyone, everyone's heartbroken, and this is kind of with the benefit of coming back. And, you can kind of even feel it then. This was pretty much like the last hope of like escaping anytime soon. Like this kind of had to work, or they weren't gonna get rescued anytime soon. You could just feel.
Yeah, because they obviously tried to like venture out farther. They got fucked over by the wolves. I don't even that again. I feel like you were just super unprepared. I don't know. I feel like if they like prepared a little bit better and then went out into the woods again, they probably make it.
In that moment, they were like heartbroken, this is the last chance of escaping type of thing. Everyone is really distraught. Something to notice, and I'm mentioning this. Obviously Natalie's heartbroken, but Jackie and Travis hug during this moment, which I thought was kind of interesting. Because again, that's setting stuff up for the next episode. And this was obvious. Lottie was heartbroken, which makes sense because they built like a
Lottie like stumbles into the water and like collapses. Yeah, that is sad because as we said, Shauna and Tice are kind of like confiding in each other. And then obviously, and then Lottie and Laura kind of had a similar relationship where like they were like the two they could kind of like
yeah
talk to.
So now she doesn't have that anymore. And so now Lottie's gonna find new people to talk to and like say like, hey, I'm having schizophrenia episodes, but like not.
Oh my god! Listen, Owen, as an introvert, a fate worse than death. Fuck, I have to talk. That's how I was after college, and I like stopped talking to all my friends. I'm like, fuck, I have to find new people to talk to. God damn it!
So maybe that's why Lottie broke down and cried. Like she had to talk to people.
Yeah, like, god damn it, I'm introverted. I can't talk to these people.
But
hey, Travis, you watched that new sport ball game? He's like, no, we don't have TV out here. And she's like, fuck.
But yeah, this scene was heartbreaking. I like the scene a lot, though. It does exactly what it needed to do. And without this scene, this episode would just be a B-. But this scene, a character died. And it sucks.
I feel like this is what the wolf attack should have been. Like it had been built up for quite a few episodes that Laura was going to try and use the plane. Like everyone was all excited. Like everyone was like peak happy, and then immediately in an instant, just.
And you feel like I like that the plane doesn't. It does instantly blow up, but they set up to it, like the bear catch it on fire. Then it.
Well, yeah. They're like all super happy, and they're like, "Wait a minute!" Like everyone on the ground. So he's like, "Is that smoke?" And then just boom, Yeah.
And you just feel. I think you feel for Laura here because like this is the one time she took a risk, and she's been, pretty safe throughout. And now this is like, and it ended up costing her a life in a way, type of thing.
Yeah, I feel bad for her, because she was like, "This is my destiny." Like, like this is God's sign telling me to do this. And then, it's sad, like I feel bad for her. She was like the nicest person there, so. And
what's good about this scene is like, because it's a prequel, you just knew it was going to end in a tragedy type of thing, which was
again, you're like in Ben's situation where you're trying to tell her like, don't do this, please.
Yeah. Can Ben see the future?
That's why he had all those condoms.
Yeah. But I like too that Harvey's pretty heartbroken, but he hasn't been he's been going to town anyways, like throughout the episode. So I guess
I know. Again, like you pointed out, Harvey's just kind of there, and Harvey's also like really heartbroken. And I'm like, dude, where the fuck have you been?
I did notice Misty really didn't break down and cry like anyone else did. She was kind of.
I feel like if Misty doesn't like. Wait, I was gonna say Misty doesn't emote, but she cries in the present.
Well, stuff happens. Happens. But let's everything.
Well, from Misty's point of view, it's her fucking fault. They're still out there.
Yeah. Overall, what do you think of everything in the past before we talk about overall everything in the past? I thought was pretty solid. The Laura thing was probably the highlight.
Yeah, Laura was the highlight. Again, the van thing, I really like it. Unfortunately, not brought down a little bit because of last episode being not great.
Yeah.
With the wolf attack. I hope we get more of an explanation on Van being alive. Like, if it is a supernatural thing, that's really cool. If it is just that she was alive and they didn't notice, that's weird.
Right.
And I hope they do more with her, because, again, like, no one died in the wolf attack. Mm-hmm. So I hope, they give us good reason why they kept Van alive, Right. Like, I hope they do some interesting stuff with her. And, I really like the plane subplot. It was brought up quite a few times that Laura was going to, like, try and do this. And I think this would make a great what if, what if Van didn't get injured, or, what if Laura decided to hold off on taking the plane? Because, like you said, there's a number of factors for, why the plane blew up. If Laura held off and they kind of inspected the plane more, then, maybe this wouldn't happen. Maybe they could have gotten out of there.
Well, like, what if it was successful too? That's a what if too. Like, what if the plane was?
Yeah, and again, I'm not sure what's up with the supernatural stuff. Again, that kind of depends on like, if we find out that the plane blowing up was because of like a supernatural thing.
Right. But yeah, that's everything in the past. Let's talk about the present. Since I've been talking a while, how we're gonna do the present too? We'll just talk. You could just talk about Natalie and Misty's plots together since they kind of link up.
Yeah, because they're both pretty short and they're both like tied together.
Yeah.
So Natalie, dealing with like the heart. I guess that's later actually. So Natalie, coming off the last episode's in a pretty low spot. Understandably, Kevin told her to fuck off and left. They didn't get the blackmailer, so she's down $50,000.
Mm-hmm.
And again, she's like still heartbroken because she like stormed off on Tyson and Shauna because she's heartbroken over Travis still. And she basically is going to snort a fat line of Coke. And I'm not talking about Coca-Cola, Owen.
Damn. That would have been awesome.
Yeah.
I don't even know how you do that.
Yeah. She's a big soda fan. And that's why Shauna is like, doesn't like Natalie. She's more of a Pepsi person.
Right.
And then, Misty on her, like owl camera sees this. And she's like, because she was in the middle of talking with her new best friend. Again, I'm surprised Ben isn't fucking down in the basement with her.
Right.
And then she like rushes over to Natalie because she saw that she was gonna like, do some Coca-Cola in her hotel room. And then Natalie just like busts in as Natalie's about to do that fat line. And then she just like fucking sniffs it and Misty fucking snorts it. So Natalie can't.
Yeah.
And again, from Natalie's point of view, that's so funny. Because again, she doesn't know she's being spied on. So she's just about to do a fucking fat line of Coca-Cola. And she hasn't spoken to Misty in like a week. Right. Or, whenever they stopped like working together, like a week or two. Misty just fucking busts in and fucking snorts her drugs. It must be, and Natalie's like, what the fuck are you doing here?
Because, like, Misty sees the deal go down on, like, the owl cam, like you said. So,
yeah.
Big
again, like, Natalie doesn't know that yet. So it's just so funny from her point of view. And I'm kind of being funny with the scene because they kind of play it, like, comedically. You know?
Yeah.
Well, like, Misty is like, oh my God, what did I just smoke? Was it horse tranquilizer? Like, was it cocaine? Like, oh my God. Am I going to die in the next 5 minutes?
What I do like about this is, like, Misty didn't get too fucked up from the coke, which kind of makes me wonder, like, if... Because that was a big... I mean, she didn't snort the whole thing, I guess, but, like, for someone that's never done coke before, the fact that she didn't get that fucked up from it's like, that's kind of fucked up.
Yeah, she fucking drove home after that. Like, damn, girl, fucking... You got a high tolerance level.
And I think because she's so fucked, she's so crazy, that's why. That's why she's...
Yeah, I know. Like, taking the cocaine makes her sane.
Kind of did, actually.
Yeah, kind of, actually. And then, so she's like, having a little mini panic attack. Yeah, it's just so funny. Like, she fucking busts into the room, and then just fucking snorts Natalie's coke.
That'd be like, I mean, I know we're talking right now, but that would be like me about to eat some soup and something, and you just come in and like take my soup.
And I just bust in and I just fucking down it. Yeah. And he'd be like, what the fuck? Don't you live in Florida, dude?
Yeah.
Actually, that is a good point. I guess Natalie's back in their hometown. I wasn't sure where Misty lived.
But still, again, like, like you said, they haven't talked in 2 weeks, like a bit type of thing, Yeah.
Well, like I'm saying, like I know Thaisa like doesn't live in their hometown. Shauna does. Natalie just came back, and I wasn't sure where Misty lived. I guess Misty lives in the same town.
I would hope so. Like,
well, I'm saying I wasn't sure, so yeah. I guess this episode kind of confirms it because she like got there pretty quick.
Yeah, I would hope so. Imagine she had traffic on the way.
I know, right? She gets there, and fucking Natalie's just like high out of her mind.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Natalie kind of she's pretty quickly like, okay, Misty was fucking spying on me. Anyway, I think it makes sense because she's known Misty for a long time, so she makes sense. She would know Misty would do something like that.
Well, also,
so she immediately...
Also, during the conversation, like, Misty does say, like, I couldn't just sit there and watch you, like, relapse, pretty much, type of thing. So.
Yeah, and she was like, watch me. Yeah. So pretty immediately, Natalie pieces it together. She goes over to the owl statue and breaks it and finds the camera in there.
Mm-hmm.
And then she's like, what, you little perv, were you spying on me and Kevin? And Misty's like, no, that wasn't the point. You know? I do like how Natalie kind of brings that up to, like, taunt Misty.
Yeah, I liked that.
And it's like, yeah, actually, I didn't even think about that. Yeah, fucking Misty was spying on them when they were getting freaky.
Well, don't forget, last episode, she's just full on looking at like Kevin like naked type of thing. Like
Yeah, I know. She's like looking at that ass. Yeah. Fucking poor Kevin. Fucking gets his gun stolen and gets spied on while he's butt ass naked.
I know, poor guy.
Yeah. So they kind of have like a little falling out. Natalie tells her that, hit bricks. And Misty tells her, like, hey, you should be like grateful to me. Like, I've been helping you trying to solve Travis's murder. And oh yeah, I forgot to bring this up. Well, I don't know. This was last episode. Never mind. With the bank account.
Yeah.
Misty points out that because when she was interrogating her hostage, that she's like, hey, by the way, I found out that Travis's bank account was cleared just after he died.
What's so fucked up about this is like Misty's trying to make herself seem like she's like the good, like she's not in the wrong here for spying on Natalie, and like Natalie should feel bad for like her type of thing. When it's like, yeah, no, Misty, that's not how this works. No.
Yeah. And then Misty kind of just like storms off. She's like, fine, whatever, relapse and overdose. See if I care. And then leaves. And Natalie, it's kind of funny, because again, Misty kind of just like has brushed off whenever Natalie's like mean to her.
Yeah.
Like earlier when Misty was like expecting an apology from Natalie and she doesn't get it. She's like, okay, well, you're clearly dealing with a lot, so I'll just forgive you. And Natalie's like, okay, whatever.
I like that this time, like when Natalie's moved to her, like Misty's upset with her, and Natalie totally had the right to like flip out at her, kind of this time.
Oh, yeah. To be fair, I think Misty's kind of right. She's like, listen, I just fucking took some drugs for you to prevent you from relapsing. I may fucking die in the next 5 minutes.
Yeah, but I could see. Honestly, I could see Natalie's point though. Like she's been spying on.
Yeah. Well, okay, I kind of get Misty, but like in the wrong way. Like I think Misty was right to stop her from taking drugs, but like, why would you snort them yourself?
Yeah.
And
I
obviously
like
Misty's more of a Pepsi person.
Yeah, I like to like she was when because she like really dumps the coke and like it spills on the floor. She like covers like Natalie's like mouth and nose so that way she doesn't inhale it like inadvertently type of thing.
Yeah. So it is interesting. It seems like Misty like does legitimately care about Natalie.
How I think the friendship works is Misty thinks they're friends, but Natalie.
Well, yeah, obviously, like, yeah, Natalie doesn't like her, and Misty kind of just like, thinks they're buddies. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's also interesting because it seems like Natalie kind of like deals with Misty more than the others.
Yeah.
But like Tyson and Shauna want nothing to do with Misty.
I can't.
Whereas Misty, where Natalie seems to kind of just like tolerate her.
Yeah.
So that is kind of interesting.
I do like that.
Well, I guess Natalie and Misty are kind of in the same boat in a way, where Shauna and Taissa kind of just tolerate Natalie.
Yeah. I do like, by the way, that like Natalie even points out when Misty mentions the bank account stuff, you're like, well, how the hell can I believe you after you've just been spying on me for like, this time, like type of thing. But obviously we see later on that she ends up believing her type of thing. So
yeah. Well, she doesn't really have any other leads to go off of, so I can't really blame her for being like, all right, fuck it.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right. That is a good point where it is kind of weird. She like accuses Misty of like lying about that, but then she like kind of goes off of it anyway.
Yeah.
So from there, Natalie is like calling up a bank to like try and get information on Travis, but because she's not like a relative or anything like that, she can't get that information.
And I guess she doesn't have his ID either, because if she's struggling this much, whoever killed Travis supposedly, either like had his ID or they did it another way type of thing, because that's the only way you can make sense.
We haven't heard anything about Javi, and this scene kind of makes me wonder if that's like foreshadowing, because like obviously Natalie mentions like like immediate family, and obviously Javi would be his brother, so maybe Javi killed him.
I mean, Javi. That doesn't say much, though. We don't hear much about Javi in the past, so that doesn't mean shit.
I was gonna say we don't know anything about Javi in the present, but then again, we never see Javi in the past either. You're right.
Just chilling.
Yeah, I know, right? I shit you not. The fucking extra who like just started talking last episode might have more screen time than Javi.
Yeah, definitely.
That says a lot. Yeah. So, Natalie like mid conversation is just like flipping the fuck out. She like hangs up and is like wailing, like, "Don't you believe in true love?"
I like to think she was still on the phone, and like the woman was like, "Yeah, no, not doing that." Like that's
Listen, as someone who used to do 911 operations, you get some people like that, some fucking wackos.
But you have to stay on the phone with them, the type of thing.
True, yeah, I can't hang up. And this bank person was like, "All right, not getting paid enough for that." And Misty, not Misty, fucking, because they're both fucking mental. Natalie had like, like one of those things you put on after a bath, like the like skincare stuff.
Oh, the mud
and
mask.
She's like, yeah, mud mask, and she's like wiping her, so she just looks like a mess.
Yeah.
She's like wailing, and she's like rubbing all that stuff out of her face, and she falls to the ground. And then she just sees like a little bit of Coke left, like on the rug. And this is presumably like hours later.
Yeah.
This is some fucking dirty Coke. Coca-Cola, obviously.
Flat Coca-Cola.
Yeah. And then Natalie is like, "Oh, hello there." And then she just like is like trying to like scoop together as much as she can to snort it.
Yeah.
So like this scene's kind of showing like Natalie's like at an all-time low. This is like a low point for her.
And you can see why.
Yeah.
I felt bad for her.
I wonder how much, because obviously she's like obviously still heartbroken about Travis. I wonder how much of this is like about Kevin. Because again, I'm still like unclear how much Natalie liked Kevin,
Right. Because it seemed like...
Because she said she was just kind of just like using him. But like, I do kind of wonder if a part of her did like legitimately care about Kevin.
Well, with what you see happens later in the episode, what you're going to talk about, you really question it.
Yeah. And also, I think a big thing I pointed out in the previous episode was, Natalie mentioned, like, she doesn't just sleep with just anybody. But then, obviously, we found out this episode she lied about, like, how many people she slept with.
Yeah. And,
so that adds kind of further, like, like kind of makes it curious, like, how much she cares about Kevin.
Yeah. Especially, too, because, it seemed like, the last episode they were on screen together for. Plus, too, I think she's upset that I don't really think she necessarily meant the thing she said to Kevin. I think she was just trying to, stay face and not have to reveal why she actually had the gun, but she kind of had to say, like, what she said type of thing to kind of, like, get Kevin off of her case type of thing.
Yeah. I thought you were going to say off her back. I'm like, well, he wasn't off her back last night. It's also, because, she's like sobbing, like, "Don't you believe in true love?" And, I think this is a situation where Natalie, like, kind of like romanticizes Travis,
Yeah.
Because from what everyone's saying, like, the relationship was terrible. And remember, they weren't even dating at the beginning of the show. They had been broken up for a while. Travis was like off the grid. And when she called Travis, he like hung up immediately.
Yeah.
So, like, she's saying, like, true love. From what it sounds like, they had been broken up for a while, and, like, if Travis didn't die, they might have never gotten back together.
Yeah, so maybe in her head, like, she always had she always had hope that they would get back together type of thing. So...
Yeah. So, like, it, that kind of adds further to, like, the all-time low, where she's, like, so obsessed over Travis is dying. But, like, well, it's like Thaisa said, like, all she had was Travis, which was like a shit show. And now that Travis is gone, she has less than nothing.
Yep.
So, this scene kind of just really hammers that in. But anyway, I like how I was saying this would be a pretty quick thing to talk about. I ended up yapping.
I mean,
about
there's a lot of character moments here. Yeah. So.
But Misty goes back to her fucking creepy dungeon. And the reporter has broken loose. Kind of like she's gotten one of her arms loose, and she's taken her parrot hostage, her pet parrot, and she's like, "All right, Misty, you're gonna let me go, or fucking Feathers over here is gonna be sleeping with the fishes." And he's a bird, so he probably like that. He likes fish.
Yeah, he won't be alive. He won't be alive for that, unfortunately, though. So.
Yeah, I know, right? It's like the bird's like, "Damn it, all the fish I can eat, but I'm not alive for it." Yeah, so Misty's like, "Go ahead, I don't care, fuck it." And it's kind of funny how Misty's like, I condemned my entire soccer team to being out in the woods for 18 months, starving to death. But I give a shit about my fucking pet bird.
I can buy that. I buy that. You know, Misty.
Yeah, I know. I'm just highlighting Misty's fucking morality.
Plus, that's the only person probably that Misty's closest to right now, too. So.
Yeah, I like you see the person she's close to. It's not even a fucking person.
It's a living thing.
Yeah, true. It is a living organism. She's like, oh, yeah, I don't care. And then she like chucks something at the reporter, causing the reporter to let the bird go. And then the bird like immediately flies upstairs. And like how Misty is like following the bird up the stairs, like, I'm so sorry, baby. I didn't mean a word of it. I love you. And then she like slams the door and like comes down the stairs. And I thought she was gonna be pissed. I thought she was gonna like start like torturing the reporter. But no, she just kind of walks over and she's like crying.
Yeah.
And she like ties the reporter's like arms and legs back up. And it's weird. The reporter didn't even like try to fight her on it. She just kind of like low key accepted it. Well, because like the reporter like makes this like concerned face, and she's like, "Misty, are you like okay?"
Yeah.
And
Misty's
like,
I'm
look
just
sick.
I'm just having one of those days.
I think she's having one of those days, and I think it's because she's like high, because of the drugs.
Yeah.
Well, I'm assuming that's what it is. Like Misty's like acting weirder than usual because she like just fucking snorted some Coca-Cola.
Right.
And Misty's like sobbing. She's like, "Hey, do you want like something to eat?" And the reporter's like, "Yeah, I guess." And it's like weird. I can't tell if the reporter's like kind of sympathizing with Misty, or if like she's like just like scared.
Yeah. Especially, I would think both. Sympathizing, but also scared because like she saw what Misty was gonna do, like just with the threat of killing the bird. Imagine what she would have done if she actually did kill the bird type of thing. So, yeah. But overall, I like the Misty stuff. But I like that it's kind of in the background. I kind of hope next episode, or the last episode, they really do something with it, because I feel like this needs kind of more. I feel like the Misty stuff kind of needs a little bit more screen time type of thing. So.
I kind of just love that this reporter is just like there. Well, it's also funny. She's working for Taissa, and Taissa just like hasn't had contact with her for however long.
Yeah, that is kind of like you would think Taissa would have called her by now. Well, to be fair, Taissa's dealing with old shit now, I guess. So I guess that's why.
Yeah, I would just love it if like we get to like the end of season 2, the reporter's just still in the basement.
That'd be awesome.
And yeah, I'm just waiting for it to like pan over to the corner and Ben just sitting there. Ben's like, "Yeah, I've just kind of been here for the last fucking 30 years."
But yeah, there's one more Natalie thing, and then we can move on.
Oh yeah, you're right. Sorry, I was like staring at you like, "Are you gonna talk about your part?" Yeah, you're right. I forgot about this. So Natalie goes to an AA meeting, and we know she's full of shit. Well, it's weird. After that, like after she seeing her so like pathetic, I thought maybe like she was actually going to this AA meeting to like, to like get help.
Nope. She
approaches an older woman there, and the woman just like gives her a look like, "Fuck, it's you."
I liked that.
And Natalie's like, "Hey, sorry about the whole like assaulting you thing."
Yeah.
Like, so obviously in the past, it seems like Natalie had to go to like a rehab because she like fucking attacked this woman.
Yeah.
And this woman like wants nothing to do with Natalie, but Natalie's like, "Look, you were my best sponsor. Can you just we like talk for a little bit?" And to my surprise, this person like actually like went and like had coffee with Natalie.
I think too, it's one of those things, you see an addict, you want to help type of thing. That's probably what it is.
Yeah. But like once she's there, she's just kind of like not sympathizing for like the first half of it.
Yeah.
She's kind of like, "All right, what the fuck do you want?"
What I did like, by the way, there's two things I like from this conversation. First, I like that Natalie brought up like, "Oh, you just got a promotion at the bank," kind of showing like, okay, now we know what we knew what Natalie's plan was.
Yeah. As soon as she said that, I'm like, "Oh, okay, yeah."
I also like that because we didn't know the person's name that she's talking to, but I like that Natalie didn't say it like where like it was just there so we would know it. They like had a conversation like they would have they've known each other all this time. It'd be kind of weird if Natalie was just like, "Hey, what's going on?" And then I have to say your name because people are watching. It is kind of
convenient that Natalie happens to know someone who works at that bank. But to be fair, again, she seems like she had been going like in and out of like rehab and meetings for like years.
Yeah.
And you're gonna meet all kinds of people like going to those meetings. So I can buy Natalie like has a lot of like connections.
Oh, I'm fine with it. I just like the fact that like they had a conversation, like they didn't have Natalie say her name just to say it so we would know it type of thing. Like they had a real conversation.
Yeah, and like you said, like establishing like, oh hey, you got that promotion at that bank, and like they don't bring up why, they don't actually like say it till the end of the conversation, but like for the viewer, it makes it pretty clear early on, like okay, that's why Natalie's meeting this person.
Yeah, so I liked that.
And legit, I thought, well, okay, I kind of knew Natalie wasn't being genuine. I knew she was kind of like playing up like the victim card.
Right.
But like then she just full on like she just fucking does 180 towards the end of the conversation. It's fucked up.
There was a part of the conversation that made me laugh because I'm pretty sure it made me think of you when she mentions like my friend, like the person I was seeing, and she because she talked about Travis, and the person doesn't know Travis's name, and she says Trevor, and I think I laughed this time because didn't you make that mistake and call Travis Trevor?
I'm pretty sure I called him Trevor. Yeah, you're right.
So I like the fact that this person made this, and she doesn't even care. By the way, that's the thing. She like doesn't know. She just says it in the most straight, like I don't give a shit about you or your life type of thing, like Trevor.
Yeah, I know. That's why I was saying like I love that for the first half of this conversation. She just like is like so done, like she doesn't give a shit, like she's not sympathizing with Natalie.
Yeah, I liked that.
I like this person. This person is my spirit animal.
I thought at first she was unnamed, but I think she did. I think her name was like Susie or something like that. It was like,
she did have a name. I don't remember the top of my head.
Yeah. It'd been awesome if she did have
Natalie's
a name.
kind of like saying like, hey, listen, I do like they established it like Natalie had already like told this person about Travis.
Yeah.
Which makes sense. Like saying like and she doesn't try to hide that, like, listen, we weren't, we had a lot of issues, but like, whenever we were like low, and we ever thought about like basically like ending our lives, like he made me promise like, not to like, he's not going to go through with it, and like I shouldn't go through with it, kind of like they basically made a promise to each other.
Yeah. That
like they're not going to kill themselves, which is interesting that like they got to that point in life, because we knew they had like drug issues, but like knowing like Travis and Natalie were like suicidal is like, damn.
I know, yeah. It's just kind of heartbreaking too, because now it shows like where the relationship really went. Like you always thought it was just like the drug issues and stuff, but then it ends up being like more than that.
Yeah. Which is like, yeah, and I feel bad for them because again, like they all agree like we're not gonna like talk to anyone about what happened out there.
Yeah. So, like,
it's also, like, with Travis, like, she had someone to, like, talk to about, like, all that shit that happened.
Right.
But, like, yeah, as Taisa said, like, Travis is gone. She doesn't really have anyone, because, like, Sean and Taisa can, like, talk to each other. Because as you're going to talk about when, the sleepwalking thing happens, Taisa goes to Shauna.
Yeah.
Natalie doesn't really have anyone now that Travis is gone to, like, talk to about all that stuff.
Yeah, definitely.
Because, when the show started, first scene with Natalie is her at rehab, and, like, the people in the rehab are saying, like, she was there for weeks and she didn't once say what she did out there.
Yeah, or, like, what she was, I think she mentioned, like, the last, like, meeting she went to was, like, the only time she talked, like, the whole time she was in rehab, I think they mentioned.
Right, so it's, like, fucked up, it's, like, I'm sure part of it, is, like, obviously, drug abuse is hard to break, but I'm sure it doesn't help that, like, whenever she does go to a rehab or therapy or whatever, she like doesn't talk about probably one of the big things that caused her to do drugs,
And one of those things too, like you probably need to talk to someone like that has that outside perspective. The only people they talk about is the people that were like in it type of thing. Like that probably doesn't help.
Right, exactly. Either. Like, yeah. Well, because as you're going to talk about, Shauna, when she brings up the affair, Taisa is like happy for her.
Yeah, I would
so like again, I feel like you need that outside person to be like, okay, so there's a lot to unpack with that.
Yeah.
Like I shouldn't really support that. But yeah, Natalie's kind of like trying to make this person sympathize, and she starts crying. She's like, "Listen, the police say he killed himself, but like, I do like how she is like kind of like being somewhat honest, where because she knows she can't make this person like believe that like she's never lied or anything, because this person like knows Natalie.
Right.
So she's like, listen, I'm a liar, you know that, but this person, Travis, like when he made a promise to me, he like kept it, like he kept his word, like he wouldn't kill himself. And this person like believes her. She's like, listen, for once, I believe you. And I think that was a big thing that she said, like, this is like the only time like I legitimately believe you're not lying.
That was good. I like that.
And then she basically says, like, listen, his bank account got cleared right before he died, or like right after he died. Can you look into it? She's like, I can't do that. Sorry. Like, and I do like how here she's like being, like, now she's kind of sympathizing more.
Mm-hmm.
Because before she was kind of just like straight, like I don't give a shit. Like, I don't even know why I'm agreeing to talk to you. But now she's kind of like being like, listen, I'm sorry about what you're going through, but I can't do it. And then Natalie does a fucking 180. She stops crying. She's like, okay, well, if you don't help me, then I'm going to tell the bank that when we were using drugs together, you would sell your client's information to get money to use your drugs. And then this person immediately just like loses all sympathy for Natalie. She's like, you know what? I wish I never fucking met you.
And what I like about it too is like now she has no choice but to do it because she knows Natalie's not bluffing, type of thing too. Like,
yeah.
So I like that.
And and again, it kind of shows Natalie's like, I mean, we already knew Natalie's like fucked up,
Yeah.
And we kind of got that last episode where she just kind of like goes in on Kevin and like manipulates him to like get what she wants. And don't get me wrong, like trying to like get justice for Travis is like I want to start calling him Trevor now. Getting justice for Trevor is like legit. Like like I sympathize, but she is like fucking with other people's lives to like get there. Right. And it's pretty messed up.
Yeah, I agree. Because this person could get fired who's like worked hard to get this promotion type of thing. So.
Yeah, same with Kevin. Like she's like manipulating people, and from what it sounds like, this person, like it's fucked up that in the past she like sold clients' information, but like it seems like now now she's like trying not to do that. She's trying to like turn her life around. Yeah. And Natalie fucking strolls back into her life and drags her back down.
Yeah, drags Kevin back down type of thing too.
Exactly. Well, it's like Natalie says, she wasn't wrong when she says, like, Thaisa and Shauna are just as fucked up as her.
Yeah.
Like, she wasn't wrong for saying that. But it is kind of a case of Natalie kind of, like, just, like, trying to drag other people down to her level.
Yeah. But, yeah, the last things to talk about is the stuff with Shauna and Thaisa. Shauna, this is presumably a little bit after... Adam's, left and everything like that from the night before. And she notices that
Adam's never truly gone. He's always around the corner waiting for the perfect moment.
Yeah, he's waiting.
Yeah.
And Callie's come back and, obviously Shauna was shocked to see her because she mentioned she was at Alana's. And Callie's like, yeah, I need to go have some things. And, she points out that she found... Adam's driver's license, like by the couch, and luckily she found it before like Jeff did, and obviously Callie's hurt about the fact that like now that he's coming to the house now and everything. Like before, she didn't love the fact that like she was cheating on Jeff, but like at least it was out of the house. But now that it's kind of coming to our house, she's kind of a little bit upset about that type.
Callie's like a good actress, she you kind of see like tears in her eyes a little bit, like her eyes were getting red.
Yeah.
Because keep in mind, like I like how the show set it up, like, oh, Callie's a bitch, and even Shauna says like our kid's like an asshole, but like, I sympathize for Callie. She's like, she's kind of an asshole to her mom, but like she's a kid, she's a fucking teenager,
right?
And low key, like I don't know, Shauna just comes off as petty, like as they're having this conversation, she like kind of gets in a diss at Callie, where she says like, hey, I know it's difficult for you to comprehend, but he like likes me,
Yeah.
Like she basically like does a jab at Callie, like, hey, I know you wouldn't understand, but like he likes me.
Yeah.
And it's like, damn good. I kind of brought it up when she like blackmailed Callie, it's like, Shauna, you're like a 40-year-old woman, you know, and you're like having a pissing contest with a teenager.
I didn't mind it then because again it was deserved, but like here, like yeah, this was not deserved. Like Callie's actually trying to look out for her, and she's kind of like dissing her.
Yeah, and she's like, and yeah, you know, Callie, like you said, is legitimately hurt that, like, you know, that she's like bringing her boyfriend to like their home, you know.
Yeah. So then, you know, Shauna points out, you know, she kind of tells, you know, Callie that, you know, Jeff is possibly cheating on her, like brings out, like, you know, kind of tells Callie to put 2 and 2 together type of thing. She's like, but yeah, you're going to be upset at me, but for not doing anything about it, when the other way around, you would be upset at me if, you know.
Yeah. I am glad Shauna brought that up because I think I brought that up previously, that like it's weird Shauna didn't bring up that Jeff was cheating.
Yeah, so I'm glad she brought it up.
Yeah.
And then, you know, Callie even like says, like, you know, do you really even know this guy? Because this guy could want more than what you believe. And Callie, like Shauna says, like, yeah, he wants me, Callie, but, and, you know, she mentions, you know, that Adam's a struggling artist. And, you know, we find out that Callie's been like Googling trying to find Adam, and she can't find him anywhere. There's not like a website of like his artwork, no Instagram page, nothing. And Shauna's even weirded out by this. And this kind of causes Shauna to do some.
Well, I like how she's like she's trying to seem like she doesn't care, and like Callie's like reaching here, like Callie's like being paranoid.
Yeah.
But then like again, as soon as Callie's gone, like yeah, Shauna's Googling him.
So Shauna looks up the Pratt, you know, the art school that Adam went to, and she calls pretending to be like an agency or something, like trying to get information. She doesn't really do a good job lying, but the person that she calls clearly bought it. So this background person is an idiot because like she clearly bought Shauna's bullshit lie and whatever.
Yeah.
But you know, we find out that Adam never went there. You know, she even tried to guess his graduation year and everything like that. And we find out that Adam's been lying about that.
I know. They ask her like, oh yeah, what's like the specific year he graduated? And she's like, I don't know exactly, like 2004, 2005. I'm like, okay, that's suspicious, you know.
But the person still went ahead and did it. I like to think that person got fired after this call. Like, yeah, did you just take a call from like someone that doesn't exist? Type of thing.
Yeah, I know, right?
It'd be funny if he actually did go there and like Shauna just got the year one or whatever. Like that'd be funny.
I know, right? He graduated in 2008, and it's like, oh,
well, yeah. But anyhow,
yeah. Shauna goes to his apartment, and she's like, yeah, I called your college, and they said you didn't go there, and he's like, wait, yeah, I did.
Yeah, I graduated.
He's just like confused.
But anyhow, Jeff comes home and shows Shauna that he bought her like an expensive like dress to wear for homecoming. Because homecoming's come. Well, no, not homecoming. I
was gonna say like, I think they're a little old for that.
The anniversary. I think I mentioned homecoming because you know
high school reunion.
Right. I could never get the what they're celebrating right because I think I called yeah, but anyhow.
Well, I think it's important because like it seems like Shauna is like kind of like doesn't really want to go, but Jeff's trying to be like, hey, listen,
yeah,
you married, you know, prom royalty. So basically, Jeff's saying like he won prom king.
Yeah,
which is interesting. I think another reason maybe why Shauna doesn't want to go is because if Jeff won prom king, then prom queen was probably Jackie.
Yeah. But this was suspicious because you know, Jeff was more happy. Jeff seemed like he was in a good mood here, and he just came with this dress, so that kind of raises some questions, type of thing. So,
yeah. Well, I just took it as like, I'm gonna say it in a second, but I took it as like Jeff is
yeah,
you know, he's kind of trying to cheer her up. We kind of seen the last couple episodes. Jeff is trying to like get Shauna to like do more stuff with him, you know, because like on Halloween. He tried to get her to like, you know, hey, well, I'll go to book club with you. Make it a date. So it seems like Jeff is trying to like, you know, do things more with Shauna.
Yeah, definitely. So then,
but although because because again, I think I mentioned last episode, I'm torn between Adam and Jeff.
Yeah.
On like who the blackmailer is. The blackmailer just got a ton of money.
Mm-hmm.
So like Jeff comes home and like. An expensive dress. So I'm like, hey, maybe he's the blackmailer. He just got some money.
Right. So then, later in the night, Callie, Shauna, and Jeff are having dinner, and someone comes over, and I like Jeff is like, "Are you expecting someone?" And we're meant to think this is Adam. And honestly, with how the show's gone,
him on the side eye,
yeah, I like that. Honestly, I think everyone probably thought this was Adam just because of how shitty he's timing is throughout the whole show. Like,
I know I was gonna make like a joke, like, you know what, like this show is like predicted our joke from the future. They're like, Adam's fucking around the corner.
That would have been honestly, I would have loved if it was like if it was Adam. That would have been awesome. Yeah. Like,
I would love if they do a fake out, like it is Thaisa, and then she's like, "Oh, by the way, I brought a friend," and Adam pops up from behind her, like, "Hey, Shauna."
Yeah, but no, when Shauna goes over there, we see that it's Thaisa, and Thaisa and Shauna make it seem like they haven't talked at all, other than up to this point. This is the first time they've seen each other, which we know is bullshit because they saw each other last night. Although that could have just been Rose that Thaisa was talking to. We don't know that.
I love the idea that Shauna is like has a split personality and like it's fucking Rose from 2.5 Men.
I love it. And later in the night, Thaisa tells Shauna that she's been sleepwalking again, and she kind of meant this is kind of like where we find out that like her sleepwalking's been like a thing more so. She mentions that we've seen how bad it can get, so I'm wondering if something in the past we're gonna see like how bad Thaisa is like sleepwalking.
Yeah, that's specific. She says to Shauna like, "You know how bad it can get," and Shauna's like, "Yeah." So obviously Shauna wasn't there when the wolf attack happened, and like the way Thaisa, like she says to Simone, like I could hurt you while I'm sleepwalking. Like I could attack you.
Yeah.
And like during the wolf attack, she didn't like attack anyone. She just like climbed a tree.
Yeah.
So that makes me think like, okay, something else happened with the sleepwalking.
Which is interesting. I'll admit that.
Yeah.
And then she mentions that the dog. She mentions.
I think it's, again, as I said, it's because this seems to be like an ongoing issue. It's really weird that Thaisa didn't like put 2 and 2 together that the lady in the tree was her.
Again, I'm gonna do a deep dive, like what I think was going on behind the scenes. So then Thaisa mentions that the dog is missing. I like to think it's funny they could only get the dog for like those last couple episodes, so they had to like write a storyline around that type of thing. Like,
the dog messed up its scene, so the writer was like, "All right, you're out of there."
Yeah. But then
you're going to Belize.
But then Shauna offers for her to like spend the night, and because we also find out Thaisa hasn't been like sleeping; she's been like drinking caffeinated drinks and everything like that to keep herself awake. Again, I like the scene.
She fucking should have met up with Natalie. Do some of that sweet Coca-Cola.
Probably would have made it worse.
Yeah.
But I liked this scene a lot because it was translated to what was going on in the past. Because they were there for each other in the past, so this was kind of cool that they were here for each other now. So doing this,
well, it's the reverse too. Because lately it's been like Shauna, like getting therapy from Thaisa, and now it's kind of the reverse where Thaisa is coming to Shauna with her problems.
So yeah, we see later on them making the bed, and Shauna's like, "Do you ever think what would have happened if like the plane crash didn't happen? Like what our lives would have been like?" And Shauna,
this is probably my favorite scene from the episode. Actually, this conversation.
Oh, okay. But I'll talk about it. So Shauna mentions, she kind of mentions like she had like a life that she was gonna live. Like she was gonna go to Brown. She was going to write all these papers, date somebody, break up, go to Paris and date a mime, which is pretty funny. It would have been funny if she said go to England because that's where Charlie Sheen and like her went 2.5 Men type of thing.
Yeah, I know, right?
I wish they kind of. Obviously, I get why they couldn't do that, but that would have been.
Well,
funny.
Again, that's why she's upset. In her perfect vision, she went to France, but she actually went to England and met and dated Charlie Sheen
and kidnapped him. So
yeah, exactly.
But yeah, I like to think too if the plane crash. So if the plane crash didn't happen, does Shauna not become Rose from 2.5 Men? I like to think that.
Yeah, I do love that. Yeah, alternate universe. Yeah, exactly. They're the same person. Just Rose didn't get into the plane crash.
Yeah. Oh no, that's why Rose is a thing because.
Oh yeah, because Shauna sleepwalks too, but instead of being the lady in the tree, she's Rose from 2.5 Men. Have you ever seen Shauna and Rose from 2.5 Men in the same room?
No.
I rest my case.
So then, you know, and then Thaisa mentioned all the things like she would have done. Like she was going to she went to like a law school. She graduated #1 in her class. She was like something, you know, she basically...
She was like star of the soccer team. She was going to date a bunch of hot women.
Yeah.
And Shauna was like, it's kind of funny. Halfway through the conversation, Shauna like makes a face.
Yeah.
And then she says like, you did do all those things.
And I like this because I like what Thaisa says here. Like, she did them, but they didn't feel real. Like, she did these things, but obviously she didn't really live in the moment because of the PTSD from like the plane crash. So it didn't really. Feel
exactly. That's what I mean by this is my favorite because you know when they talk about Adam, and I lose a little bit of interest, but like this conversation right here was my favorite part of the episode, where again, you know, Shauna has all these regrets. You know, again, obviously we know she's not happy with her marriage with Jeff. She doesn't even like her daughter. She's just like disappointed with her life, and she goes over all these things that like she wish she did. You know, and Shauna's even the one who brings it up. Like, you know, did you ever think about what would happen if we didn't like get in that plane crash?
Yeah.
So obviously, this is something that Shauna thinks about a lot. And then Thaisa, you know, who seems like successful with her life, says all the things she wanted to do, and she did them. Like after the plane crash, Thaisa did every single thing she wanted to do with her life, but none of it like made her happy.
Mm-hmm.
I love that, you know.
Yeah, I like, you know, because we're seeing like both perspectives. Like you said, Shauna didn't get to do all these things because of the plane crash, and she's unhappy. But Thaisa did, but she's still unhappy, which I like that.
Yeah,
you know?
and again, I think it's like, you know, Thaisa is basically saying like, sorry, Shauna, like even if you did do all the things you wanted to do, you probably would have just been like me, you know, like you probably wouldn't have, you know, like you probably wouldn't have been happy.
And I think what I like about this is it shows the characters deal with it differently because, you know, I get, because Thaisa got to do all these things, Shauna didn't, Natalie got, you know, went to drugs and stuff, and, well, we don't really know about Misty yet, she's just crazy, so.
Misty was kind of just always going to be a serial killer, so not, you know, she's fine.
So I like that we're getting...
She's kind of just vibing.
Yeah, I like that we're just seeing all of these people, like, how they've dealt with the plane crash differently. This episode, especially this scene, like, really showcased that very well.
Exactly, love that.
Not the next scene, though.
Yeah.
So, like, again, I did like the cut, though. Like, they cut from that Shauna Thaisa scene that you talked about in the past earlier, then they cut to this scene. That was a good cut. Yeah. I like that.
I love that.
But then it cuts to, like, Shauna just telling Thaisa that she's having an affair.
It's funny. She even says, like, I don't know why I just told you that, but, you know.
I don't really like that, like, one, why did Shauna not mention that, Jeff was having an affair first? Like, I don't know what, like, she made herself look like the bad person out of it. That was weird.
Yeah.
Like,
it's so weird. Thaisa's like first thought was like, "Oh my god, congratulations!" You know.
I mean, I guess that kind of makes sense because like the thing that you know.
Well, I mean, clearly, fucking Shauna has a history of this.
Yeah. So then, you know, Shauna's kind of talking about like Adam. Doesn't mention he shows up at the wrong time though. Never mentions that. So
Adam just pops in like, "Hey, girls, how you doing? Room for one more?"
Shauna was just like, I was just talking about you, type of thing. So
yeah, I know, right? It's like I'm still in the closet. I never left.
Uh-oh. I tried to say.
Listen, we never saw him leave after that scene. He could have just been in the closet this whole time.
Yeah. Yeah, could have been. Yeah. So then, you know, Shauna kind of mentioned, you know, that like Adam makes her feel things that she never felt before and all this type of stuff.
Well, I don't think it's that she never felt it before, but she says like, you know, they kind of describe it as it, you know, you know, like I think when they say it, it's like excitement, you know, kind of that like fast heartbeat. And, you know, Thaisa even says like Simone doesn't really do that for her anymore.
Yeah. I
think it's just because, you know, like, I was assuming Jeff made Shauna feel it like in the past. It's just like, you know, they've been in their relationships for so long, you know?
Yeah. I don't think Jeff in the past, though, made Shauna feel it because she loved Jeff, probably for different reasons than that.
Yeah, exactly. I think, that was probably more so because it was Jackie's boyfriend, you know?
Yeah. I didn't like what, though, Thaisa said about her wife, that her wife doesn't make her feel it anymore, because that's Thaisa's fault, if anything else.
I know, right? I'm like, okay, that's not Simone's fault. Well, I mean, she does say, like, you know, like, me and Simone are like stable and like that's good. Like that's good for me.
Yeah, but I still don't like that.
Like she doesn't say Simone doesn't. She doesn't love Simone. I guess
know.
it's more like Simone doesn't make her excited. I guess.
I just can't buy it just because it's kind of Thaisa's fault because as you saw in the first episode they were like fine. It seemed like everything was going good, but with everything going on with Thaisa, the sleepwalking, running for Senate.
Yeah, I mean Simone has every fucking right to be pissed at Thaisa. Yeah.
Yeah, especially too like Simone like stands by Thaisa as we're gonna see later on. Like
yeah.
How do you not feel it from Simone type of thing? Like
I know. Listen, Simone has been shown to be like nothing but like the best fucking partner ever.
Yeah.
Like legit. Like she's way more understanding than I would be.
Yeah. So I don't get why.
And like I'm glad she's not like a fucking carpet either. Like she doesn't just take Thaisa's shit. Like she gets mad at her and like kind of puts her foot down.
So I don't get why.
Like Simone doesn't have much screen time, but like I like her from what we see.
Yeah. That's why I don't get why, like, Thaisa did feel like Simone's making her feel like it. Like, she's putting up with a lot of Thaisa's shit right now, so I don't get that at all.
I mean, again, to be fair to Thaisa, she doesn't, like, completely diss Simone. Like, she doesn't say she doesn't love her. And, like, she does say, like, listen, Simone to me is, like, what we have is, like, stable.
Yeah.
And, like, well, it's also interesting. Thaisa says, like, we know what happens when I get, when I have someone who makes me feel it. Like, I need stable. Which is interesting because because obviously earlier Thaisa said like how bad it can get when I sleepwalk, and now she's saying how bad it can get when I feel it.
Yeah, that's true.
So that is interesting. Like I wonder if that's foreshadowing for something.
Yeah, that could be. I hope it is because even though like they said that she's still stable, I just don't. I'm just hoping. I don't personally get how Thaisa just can't feel like it when someone.
No, yeah, that's I agree. I agree that is like a bullshit complaint. Like Thaisa, there's a lot wrong, but like none of them are your wife.
Yeah. So then I'll just talk about the Thaisa stuff now because it kind of wraps it up.
Yeah.
She goes back home the next day. It was kind of disappointing. Like that was kind of the last we saw of Thaisa and Shauna's conversation. Like it just cuts to them going home and like cuts to Shauna going to like Adams.
Yeah, it feels like they should have like wrapped up a little better. Yeah. It kind of just ends.
Felt like maybe they ran out of. Like maybe it's a deleted scene or something. So
it's also like Shauna decides to go confront Adam, and then Thaisa decides to like tell Simone about the sleepwalking.
Yeah,
but like it feels abrupt. Like it feels like they should have talked for a little bit, and then like they should have done what they did because of the conversation. Like having that conversation is what causes them to go have those conversations.
Yeah, none of these conversations that they had, I would have caused them to want to tell them type of thing.
Yeah.
So,
if anything, Shauna confronted Adam because of what Callie said.
Yeah, and like Natalie, and like Thaisa, there was just no reason, it just happened type of thing. Yeah. But yeah, Thaisa.
I mean, to be fair, I'm glad Thaisa told Simone, but like it just seems abrupt. Because like it wasn't really addressed last episode. Like it was kind of like we got a little bit of it, and then it was immediately like they were dealing with the blackmail stuff.
Also, obviously too, with the way these scenes were written. The writers had it in their mind, I think, that these scenes were supposed to cause them to, like, confront these people, but none of them they talk about you would have bought, like, would have caused
exactly.
that.
So that's what I mean. Like to talk between Shauna and Thaisa, like, it doesn't feel like a natural progression.
Yeah. Again, maybe there was a deleted scene we don't know about, so.
Yeah.
But yeah, Thaisa tells Simone about the sleepwalking and mentions, that it's trauma from after the plane crash, and she mentions, I like that she's kind of, not really, that she's kind of nervous to tell because obviously she knows it's like shitty and stuff. And she mentions like, I think I may have let, like the dog out of the house.
I like how she mentions leaving the dog out of the house. She doesn't bring up that like, hey, I've been like traumatizing our son.
Would you?
I mean, no.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, I like how Thaisa picks and chooses what she says.
She did tell Shauna earlier, which was good. Which was unless she told somebody. So
yeah, she did tell Shauna that like, hey, I've been like talking to Sammy, and Sammy like thinks I'm like the evil version of me.
So this is also why I was kind of against Thaisa even more, saying that Simone doesn't feel it because Simone immediately goes and like comforts like Taissa and mentions like, we're gonna get you help, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do that. Like, this is why I was especially pissed that Taissa like mentioned like Simone doesn't make me feel ill, because like you just mentioned like Simone just like was very understanding about your sleepwalking, and like I hope her opinion changed on that. She doesn't still feel that way, because that would be stupid if she still didn't feel like it. But
I feel really bad for Simone here. Like it got fucked where Simone is like super understanding. Where she's listen, baby, we're gonna get you therapy. We're gonna get you exactly. We're gonna be there for you 100%. And then Taissa like fucking snaps on her and is like, you need to leave. And then Simone like fucking runs away.
Pretty much. Yeah, I felt bad for Simone. But yeah, let's kind of do a deep dive of the Taissa thing. I'll make it quicker now since we're 2.5 hours into it. So
I mean, take as long as you want, like it's
Yeah. But yeah, the way that it came out. So I think what happened is the writers didn't want us to know who the woman in the tree was, so they had to have Taissa act in a way where she couldn't know that it was her, because then that would give it away to like the fans and everything like that. This still doesn't make sense though, because like, why now are we getting like, why is Taissa doing something about it now? Like, she should have, because she mentioned she's been sleepwalking for 2 weeks. So
to be fair, I think Taissa mentions like to Simone like it's probably like the stress of like the election is like causing it to like come back. But like you said, it's weird that like Taissa like doesn't even question that like she's sleepwalking again.
Yeah. And like the fact too that like she mentioned like woman in the tree. Wouldn't something like pick up too, like, because that's what the first time she sleptwalked, she was in a tree. Wouldn't something have been picked up by then, type of thing? So and
as from what she says from Shauna, it seems like it wasn't just like a one-time thing. This is going to be like an issue.
Yeah, so I don't know why they didn't like And then, I also, it just doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. And, she let this continue for, like, a while. Like, she let her son take the blame for, like, all these things. It just seems like they really kind of messed up this storyline a little bit. So, it's just kind of that. But, yeah, then later on, we see that Shauna goes to Adam. And, we find out that Adam doesn't really live in, like, a great place. He kind of lives, like, in, like, an apartment type of place, and it's kind of a little bit run down type of thing. And
yeah, I mean, it's not bad. I mean, it's like an art studio.
Yeah. Shauna, like, this is the first time where, like, Shauna now has gone out of her way to, like, talk to Adam. Typically, it's been the other way around, where Adam's trying to, get with Shauna type of thing. Well,
it's funny. Yeah, Shauna even, like, I mean, Shauna does it to, like, prod him. But like she even says like, I haven't really asked you much about like you.
Yeah. So Shauna mentions that. I do like that. Like Shauna mentions that. Our interactions have been like weird. And she's like, and I like how Adam says, I don't know what he says, because I always hear two different words. It's either hot or caught, and I like to think it's caught because that's pretty much what it's been every time they've interacted recently. It's been caught, almost caught. Because that would have been bad if...
Yeah, he catches her at the worst possible time.
Yeah. But, Shauna's, like, asking him questions about what it was like at Pratt. And Adam pretty much realizes, because she keeps asking questions, like, rapid fire. Which honestly, even if he wasn't lying... She's asking him, like, a lot of hot questions that even if I was telling him... If someone asked me about, like, my Massasoit days or whatever, like, rapid fire like that, I'd be like, whoa, I can't even answer these questions. I look at the spin.
I know, right? Well, yeah, I do like how Adam is like, okay, well, judging by you fucking, like, interrogating me like this, I'm guessing you figured out that I didn't actually go there.
And, Adam mentions he had a go...
Well, it makes me wonder, was Shauna, like, trying to be subtle? Because she wasn't.
Yeah. But Adam, pretty much, figures out that he's been caught and says that he just had a girlfriend that went there. He hung out there a lot. So it's as if he went there. So I like that, like, he was lying, but at least he's been, like, I like that he's been there at least, type of thing. So
yeah, and he says, like, listen, I just wanted to impress you, basically.
Yeah. And, she's asking him other questions about his life, and he's answering them, and you know, do you think he was being like honest about the answers he gave, type of thing, or do you think there's more to?
I mean, the questions are pretty. I think she asked like, "What's your favorite color?" You know, like, "Where'd you grow up? Do you have any siblings?" You know, like all that stuff is pretty. You know, like I don't know why he would lie about that.
Right, and you know,
and well, with what we're gonna find out later, I'm gonna give my opinion.
Yeah.
But yeah, because of my opinion, I think he's telling the truth.
And then, you know, Adam apologizes for lying to a stupid thing. But I like that Adam mentions, like, I think you're trying to... This is more about, like, me lying. I think you're trying to, like, dig deep and try to find stuff about me. Because I think, you know, Shauna's kind of conflicted about whether or not she wants to kind of, like, cheat on Jeff type of thing. Because, you know, she knows it's wrong. So maybe she's trying to get out of it somehow type of thing.
Yeah.
So Adam offers to, like, take her to, like, a cabin in the woods that his brother has. And
Shauna's like, "Oh boy, I fucking love the woods."
I mean, why do you think she stayed there for 19 months? That's why she likes it so much. So
I know, right? Listen, with how Misty acts, she probably thought it was a vacation.
Pretty much what I mean, it pretty much was a vacation. She's the only one that's having like a great time. She's having a great time
right?
now.
Imagine the show from Misty's point of view. It's fucking not Yellowjackets. It's like Misty's tropical getaway.
I mean, there's a reason. Remember the first scene of the whole show. Misty's the only one that's revealed, type of thing.
Yeah, so. Misty's fucking chowing down on a nice little snack.
Yeah. And then you know, Shauna's like, well, how the hell do I explain that? You know, like that I'm gonna disappear for a few days on my family, and I like that Adam's response is like, I don't give a shit. Just say what the hell you want.
I do like how he kind of says it like he's trying to be like smooth. He's like, I don't give a shit. You're not gonna come with me.
Yeah.
Because he even said it last episode, like Shauna likes like the chaos, basically.
Yeah. So she's about to pack a bag, but then she notices on the floor is the glitter, and that's the same glitter that the blackmailer had when they were chasing them.
Yeah. Sorry, I like how you keep calling him the blackmailer. I keep calling him the glitter man.
That's funny.
Yeah.
So, you know, obviously she kind of puts two and two together because, you know, it's in the same exact position, the same exact place where, like, Adam was standing in the closet type of thing. And Shauna, you know, opens up her... her combination lock to get to a journal, and she sees that it's not there. I gotta say something to you, Shauna, by the way. You gotta hide your stuff better, because Callie's found Jackie's, soccer uniform, and now this happened. Like, yeah, you gotta hide your stuff. I like to think, by the way, like, Adam being the blackmailer, you know, from what they show us in this episode, that he tried every combination like that he could for all that time type of thing. Like, damn it.
Yeah, he's like, all right, I only got 10 minutes. 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. Damn it. 1, 1, 1, 1, 2. Damn it. 1, 1, 1, 3.
It's Church from season 3 where he's trying to prevent himself from being like killed or whatever.
Yeah,
like,
at the end he's like, fuck, I'm gonna go live in a cave.
No, and then when he gets to that point, it just opens type of thing.
Yeah,
like,
damn it. Yeah, Adam was like, instead of the cave, Adam's like, all right, I'm just gonna go live in the closet.
But yeah, no, she puts two and two together and realizes Adam's the one that's...
You know what? I keep joking that Ben's stuck in Misty's dungeon. He's actually stuck in the closet, you know, because he's gay.
Oh yeah, because now you know the information. Now you know that now. So,
yeah, connecting.
But yeah, you know, Shauna puts two and two together and realizes that Adam's the blackmailer. Easy for me.
The black man.
That would be good.
Yeah.
Well, no, I just made it worse.
At the end, when Shauna's like, "Who are you?" It's not about her fucking. Or rips off his face and he's a fucking black dude.
Oh no, we went with the biggest. I just went with the biggest thing of like the whole thing.
Oh god! All right, no, it's fucking Adam. Two characteristics. He shows up the worst time. He's secretly a black guy.
But anyhow, no. Yeah. So like, Shauna asks, "Who the fuck are you?" Like knocking rapidly at Adam's door. And when Adam answers, it shows Adam. Now, before I talk about like what it shows of Adam, because I don't want to say too much. Overall, what did you think of everything that happened with Adam this episode?
I like it. Again, I think he's kind of being genuine here. Or like if he's not genuine, I think it's some other thing. I don't think he's the blackmailer. I was like 50-50 on it last episode, but obviously, again, I think it's suspicious that he hid his where he's from, and like it's not even like the college thing. From what it sounds like, it's not like there's like no record of him at all. Yeah. Like not even just college, just like nothing, which is suspicious. And then I think it's weird how attached he is to Shauna. Mm-hmm. Like he is like aggressive and like how much he wants like her to stay in a relationship with him,
especially the last few episodes.
Yeah, and now he's like, hey, come away with me for the weekend, and she's like, what about my family? He's like, I don't give a shit. And I think you forgot to mention like Shauna was looking at like the dress Jeff gave her because they were gonna go to that reunion this weekend.
Yeah.
And then she like throws it away and like goes to like pack her bag.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, Shauna was like gonna ditch Jeff to like go hang out with Adam for the weekend.
Yep. Which
is fucked up.
Very much so.
But yeah, the look Adam gives her when she's like who are you? Like it seems like it's not like oh no I've been caught kind of face. It seems like like puzzled.
Yeah.
Like he seems confused.
And well, I like how they did this too because like right when you saw like Adam's reaction, they cut to like the Lola stuff. So you didn't it wasn't enough.
Yes, you didn't see his full reaction. Yeah. So the glitter in the closet and the safe being empty. So I think the main thing is this happens in episode 8. If this was at the end of episode 9 and then like next episode is the finale, I could buy it's Adam. But because there's 2 episodes left, now I'm like leaning more towards it being Jeff being the blackmailer. So again, I was kind of 50-50 before, and I did mention like, oh, Adam was in the closet, so he could have left he could have like stolen stuff from the safe. But if I remember, like Jeff like stripped down, immediately went to go take a shower, and he was gone all night. And keep in mind, it is Jeff's closet, so he could have gotten the glitter in there. And if you remember, you brought it up. Callie was able to steal Jackie's uniform from the closet.
Yeah.
So clearly, it wouldn't be tough for Jeff to get into the safe and get the journals.
What the hell is Callie?
So,
what the hell is Shauna's combination if Adam got into it too? Like that's a good question.
Yeah, true. Adam didn't have much time. Jeff lives there, so he probably he would have all the time in the world to like try and get into the safe.
Right.
And like he knows more important dates for Shauna. Like if Shauna's like a normal person, she would probably pick a number she remembers.
Right.
So Jeff would probably be able to like pick a number easier.
Yeah, it could be like the date of the crash, or
Yeah, or like it'd be interesting if she picked like Jackie's birthday or something.
Yeah.
Because they met Jackie's parents for the birthday, so that'd be a nice little making a full circle thing.
Yeah. I will say they did do this well, like with the reveal of like Adam type of thing and like how they did it type of thing. And I want to make sure we talk about this. I did like that he was caught lying about like he was caught like with a small white lie, so that made her think that he was the blackmailer because that's usually how the criminals
get caught. Yeah, that whole conversation makes me think it's a red herring. Like you said, he's caught with a lie, and then they reveal this. That makes me think like they're gonna make the audience like, oh, he lied before, so now he's lying now, and that makes me think like, okay, it's not him.
Right.
Again, if we get to next episode and Adam's like, aha, you caught me, I am the blackmailer, then I'm gonna feel like a dumbass. But for now, I'm thinking it's Jeff.
It also doesn't make sense for him to act that way with the reaction. Like it'd be weird if he did a complete 180 the next episode with the reaction that he gave at the end of like this episode type of thing.
I mean, I was exaggerating, but like, yeah, if it is revealed that Adam is the blackmailer, then I'm gonna feel real dumb. But for now, I'm thinking Adam is the red herring, and it's actually Jeff, the blackmailer.
But the writers did a great job making it look like it is Adam, though, with everything that's happened with Adam. Like throughout
again, like I said, I think the catching him with the lie before makes the audience think like, oh shit, it's him.
And the car crash, in the beginning of the series.
Yeah, it does like a lot of it does add up to like, okay, Adam is like weirdly like trying to get involved with Shauna.
But like we've talked about before, if it's not Adam, his timing is so bad. Bad.
Oh yeah, he is like fucking a magnet for bad timing. Yeah.
But yeah. But yeah, I'm glad you caught that like Adam, like didn't Adam's reaction like when Shauna caught him. I was gonna point that out type of thing that like he didn't really seem.
Yeah, he didn't seem like oh shit. Yeah, he just seemed like like you said, it kind of cut away before we saw his full reaction. But he seemed more like like puzzled or like frustrated.
Yeah, so that was good. And again, I like that. Like, I think I said this to you before too. I forgot that like they did this stuff with Adam like this episode. I thought it was like the next episode. So
Yeah.
Kind of makes more sense though, because when you see the next 2 episodes, it kind of makes sense. Like, because I don't remember exactly what happens. Again, I know what happens, but I forget if what I think happens. See, this is what's tough. I can't say, but if what I think happens next episode, and then the episode after that is, it makes sense to kind of space them out into. Again, you're gonna understand what I'm saying when you actually see the episodes, but it makes more sense to space that stuff out like in 2 separate episodes. I don't.
Okay, well, I guess I'll find out after we do this review because I'm gonna watch the next episode.
Yeah, but yeah, that's pretty much it, guys.
Well, we didn't give her a letter grade. I give it a B overall. I think it was gonna be B-, but I like the Laura stuff at the end. That was really crushing. Like that was like, their like best chance of getting out. And it's crushed, I like this. I like the music they play there too. I'm kind of glad someone finally died, as fucked up as that is to say, I liked the stuff with Adam this episode. The Tyson stuff is okay. I like the Natalie and Misty stuff. Natalie being like an all-time low is really good.
Yeah.
And the Van stuff again kind of suffers from having to deal with the wolf attack from last episode, which was bad. But I think overall it was pretty solid.
Yeah, overall I think this episode's pretty solid. It's definitely one of those like, not only a bottle episode, but kind of like, we have to set up the next episode dealing with the fallout of the last episode.
I think it's kind of middle of the road. We had some like A- episodes, and then we've had some like, B-, C+ episodes. This is like B, middle of the road, pretty solid.
Yeah. And like I said, I think I probably have. Because I probably watched this episode and then probably the next episode, like the same, or like the last, or like 7 and 8 the same day. So that's probably why, I probably thought this episode was better than it was. But, it just happens that way sometimes. So.
All right. Predictions for next episode. Maybe Javi will show up. Maybe he won't. Shauna will rip off Adam's face like he's a Scooby-Doo villain. He'll be a black guy underneath. And Jeff will be the glitter man. There we go.
There you go. But yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. Let's do our plugs.
Oh, and Van will die and then come back to life.
Because she's Kenny from South Polk.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe that's why Van came back. I know it, because Kenny from South Polk, Maybe that's maybe that's the magic.
He's got red hair. Kenny wears a red shirt. It adds up.
Yeah. But anyhow, that's pretty much it, guys. Thank you guys for watching this video. Anything you want to plug or promote before we end this off?
I haven't been home for the last 2 weeks, so I haven't done anything.
And as for me, check out Less Than Fortune 44. Chris and I are going to do a few more Aftershocks. We're going to continue GM. AJ's winning now, so I have to figure out. AJ,
somehow.
I hate to say this. I'm probably going to have to fuck you over now because you're winning. So
from rags to riches. That's my WWE GM story.
I know.
I went from 4th to fucking 1st in one thing.
All because you got a trophy.
Because I got 1 trophy, yeah.
And it's not even because you have more fans. Because I have more fans, and I don't think
I am just barely beating Chris in fans.
And yet you are winning.
Yeah.
But yeah,
you have double my fans.
Yeah. So I have to figure out how to get a trophy, I guess.
Yeah.
Because I made the mistake. If you never noticed, I never checked my trophies. So that bit me. But
it's funny because you mentioned before, oh yeah, the trophies are pretty important. I'm like, oh, okay. And when you said pretty important, I didn't think you meant literally will win you the game.
Yep. I don't even think you. What sucks? You probably. I don't even think you tried to get trophies either. Until that. We'll talk.
Oh yeah, now I'm gonna be fucking gunned for them.
Yeah. But that's pretty much it, guys. Obviously, check out this channel too. We have some stuff planned after we finish Yellowjackets. I forgot to plug the channel that we're actually on.
No, don't check out this channel. Unsubscribe, dislike, block us, find us in real life, and then kill them.
After you report the channel, get it deleted first. Yeah. But that's pretty much it, guys. We will talk to you guys later.